Hey, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let's see what we got going on. There's a lot of people in here already. Let's get some hellos done real quick. You see, Starla or Starka, I'm finding out, is apparently that's her like side name. But good evening to both you, Starka and Starla. Rain Country, good evening. DeVries Custom Leathers here. Hey, good. I wanted to mention I have been wearing your belt and I'm super excited. It's I mistakenly, when I was speaking about it on the last live, said there was a metal band in there, but it's not metal. It's a kind of polymer or whatever in it, but it really stops it from twisting. I really, really like it a lot. I think it's a home run. So if you guys look in here, DeVries Custom Leather is in here. They make a hell of a belt. I really liked it a lot. If you're looking for a gift for him or her or whatever, anyway, I don't think you can go wrong. I like it a lot. Who else we got here? Gypsy, of course. Gypsy 19. How are you guys? Long time no talk. Right? Tamara Smith, good evening to you. Skanes Girl, good evening to you. You see here, Mary Catherine, good evening. Towards Joy and Freedom, how are you, my friends? I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Rickster, good evening, bud. Hey, Drummondson Live, good evening. Mr. Rain is here. Mr. Rain says he won a prize. I think he won a prize when he got married. What do you think?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Right? Home run prize, right?
Yes.
The Treasured Home, good evening to you. Oh my goodness, I'm Jules. Good evening. Milk and Honey, good evening.
Dorothy Holloway.
Yep, Dorothy Holloway, good evening to you. And of course, the Terminator, good evening. I love how it tells me I'm live, like I don't already know
there you
this.
Go, yeah.
Yep, Florida Mama Bear, good evening to you. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Hey, Yoda, what's going on? Kim Barnett, good evening to you.
Oh, it actually says Yoda. Does it usually say Yoda?
No, I think maybe she changed it. I don't know. But it clearly says Yoda now. Kim says she's going to have new neighbors from Tennessee. Please take care of them. They are great and loved. Bird's Eye View. Hey, good evening. LJC, good evening to you as well. Hey, everyone, 601, and you're already behind. R37, hello. Everlasting Action Jackson here. I never made it to the beginning of the live. Well, you know what? Today's a brand new day, right? RN, good evening to you. Steve, good evening from West Central Indiana. Yep, ACM. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to see you pretty quick.
At the camp out, right?
Yep, Richard Hakes.
Yes, Richard. We got...
I got your email, but I thought I'd save it for the live.
Look at that. Golden deliciousness.
Yeah, are you going to...
Homemade maple syrup?
Yeah, what are you going to put it in? Because last time you put it in all kinds of baked stuff, right?
I put it in your oatmeal, and then
I love oatmeal.
Yeah, you could tell that I put maple syrup in it, right? Because that's not something I usually put in there. And then I put it on some walnuts.
Yeah, so good. So good. And thank you very much. That's amazing.
I'll do whatever you want. You want me to make some pancakes? I can make some pancakes.
Yeah, let's do some pancakes. Let's do some pancakes.
Okay.
I'd like that.
Or waffles.
Waffles will be fine too. Matt, good evening to you. And then Grumpy Acres is here, so I would assume
that would probably be G.
Yeah, probably be G.
See, that's what I thought that.
And then one time a Midwest Preparedness Festival. Yeah, we got that. I'm going to talk about that a bunch today. We got that coming up here next week. I'm going to mention this at the beginning, but I'll mention it a few times along the way. So next week we will not be doing a live because I'll be out at the Midwest Preparedness Festival. Now, with that said, if I can get signal and if I can find a way to do it out there, I may attempt it as we've done in some other remote locations to doing it live while we're out there. And so I'm going to give it a shot, but no promises. Okay. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? I'm down to the bottom here. I'm catching up. Raven's Nest Homestead, good evening. She said Raven's Nest said they didn't get a reminder for some reason. You know, this happens to me all the time. A lot of like channels like Special Operations Equipment, you know, John Willis and, you know, a lot of them that I like to follow. I couldn't, I don't get them either. I don't know why. It's just probably just the way it works. I have no idea.
I've been unsubscribed from several channels like Ryan Hall. I was looking for the
That's weather. Weird. Why would you be unsubscribed from Ryan Hall?
I don't know, but I was a subscriber. But then when this last storm came through, there was I didn't have an update.
Yeah. RN says, tag, have you ever had golden eye syrup?
Golden eagle?
Oh, golden eagle. Oh my goodness. Apparently I got to check my eyes, right? Golden eagle syrup. It's an Alabama delicacy made in a small town of Fayette, Alabama. I have not.
Golden eagle syrup.
Yep, I have not. All right, so I'm all caught up. What's the first thing on your list today?
Well, we had some wonderful company this last week, right?
Sure.
We got to meet some new folk.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them before, but
I had.
then again, I'm not.
Well, tell them about it. Who'd you meet?
Stephen and I always want to say Yanni, but it's Yana.
Yana. Mm-hmm.
Banoon, right?
Yep.
Not sure, where are they from? Tennessee. Tennessee?
Yeah.
They're from Tennessee?
They're from Tennessee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Stephen Banoon has the YouTube channel Israeli News Live. And it's about really a lot of conspiracy stuff and just kind of how the government works and all of that stuff. But anyway, he wanted to come see the farm so he could check out the off-grid stuff. And so we did a tour, looked at everything. And we ended up spending some time with them. We went to dinner, had a great dinner with them. Yep. We did a little video together talking about, kind of the way things are orchestrated. So if you guys are interested, you can go over to Israeli News Live, and him and I were in my living room and we did a video.
Yep. I was going to say right here in our living room.
Yeah. Just a couple days ago. And it was really cool. It was really good to finally meet him. I had talked to him many times on the phone, but I had not met him in person.
Yep.
R37 says, tag, I was at the Self-Reliance Festival. I should have came to meet you. Where about in Kansas are you? So I'm pretty close to Topeka. I'm 30 miles north of Topeka, Kansas, but Topeka is the place everyone would know. Yeah, you should have come to see me, R37. You should have. I'd have loved that. Let me see. Did I miss anybody here? He says R37 says the family lives in Kansas City. Cool.
Kansas City, Kansas?
I would say the M is Missouri. I don't know what the K is, but KCMK.
Okay.
Let me see here. Did I miss anybody? Drummondson Live says he listens to Stephen all the time. Yeah, I had a good time with him. It was one thing I really liked about him is I kind of challenged him a little bit on a couple things, and he was very open to that, which I really like that in somebody. Because, I had a comment on one of my videos the other day, and what they said is, sometimes we get tired of people agreeing with us, and it's nice to have that, what's the word you would, I don't want to say discord,
conflict?
But a little bit of conflict, not really conflict, but just where we can talk about different ideas,
perspectives.
Yeah, I gained some respect from him from that.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah,
I really love that.
That makes sense, though. I can see that the everybody agreeing with you thing.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. The Treasured Home says that's get to have them for a network. I'm not sure what that means.
Great to have them for a network.
Great to have them for a network. Yeah, well, super great, and we're going to do some more stuff on camera as time goes on. R3 says, can't type. I pulled a tendon on my Love Rum Rampant. Hey, how are you? You made it. Faith K, good evening. Super happy you're here. Just not going to type. Yeah. Silver Lining. How are you? Long time no see.
Yes, hello.
Yep. Dries Custom Leather says pushback. I'm not sure what we're getting pushback for, but I'm sure something. You made a great belt, but I really, really, really love it. And we want to do some other stuff too. Maybe some bartering with you, or I'll just send you some cash. And I want to get B one made. I just got to slow down enough to get her measured because I know obviously I have to do that. Rain Country says we never learn from yes men. Yeah, we don't. Yeah. We absolutely don't. And it's so nice to have somebody who's cool enough that we can either agree to disagree, or we can just debate a topic and we don't have to get mad at each other.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. I loved every bit of it. I think I already said hello to Rhonda, but if I didn't, hello, Rhonda.
The Golden Eagle syrup.
She says the best syrup. Yep. I've always liked to hear when someone sees something a little bit different. I totally agree with that. Big Kid, good evening, says, tag, I've been failing steadily at getting the lifters in the modular plate for the thermoelectric generator. I have failed just about every way possible. Well, I would tell you that most things that are great, you go through a bunch of failure to get there, Melody, good evening to you. Barbara in Alabama, good evening. I think I'm about cut up Mr. Wood. Mr. Rain said, Rain Country, hello. Yeah. Treasure Home said, sorry, I didn't mean to say that is great to have them for a network. I have trouble seeing when it's late and my eyes are tired. Yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
All good. My husband got a swarm this week without me. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
so
congratulations.
Caught up again. So we met at the Manoons.
Yep.
That was pretty
cool.
And
then you had your John Willis put out his video of your guys' interview. I can't wait to watch that. I have not yet, but I saw that it came up.
Mm-hmm.
There was a short I got to see. It was a long short, but there was a short he put out of your interview.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the one I watched, which told me that he posted your video.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys something about John Willis. You know, so he's the guy that has the special operations equipment factory and then puts on the Self-Reliance Festival down there in Tennessee. And, you know, when I first met him, I wasn't quite sure what to think of him because he's, you know, he's super high motored. He can be blunt. You know, he kind of, I think
that's you though.
Well,
you're high motored and blunt.
I am, but so I think he gets a bad rap sometimes. Like I've read some of the comments and those things. But I'm gonna tell you now that I've gotten to know him a while, he is a great human being. He is kind, he's compassionate, he's generous, he's willing to get in the fight. And I just enjoyed myself. Like I can't even tell you. We did. If you guys don't know the channel, go over to Special Operations Equipment and tell him that Tag sent you. And tell him Tag sent you. And go over there and subscribe to that guy's channel. And he is, like I said, he's a little rough around the edges, but, you know, he's just a super, super, super good guy. And the more I hang out with him, the more I like hanging out with him. And just a super cool interview. And I really had a good time. I have no idea where I'm at here. Okay. Something about an EMC.
EMC.
Okay, so right there. So, anyone hear
about
the
hours?
EMC headed to the Earth in the next 20 hours? Yeah, I was reading an article actually right before we went live about some sun activity, but I didn't know there was one headed this way. Eagle Lover said, "You missed calling my name again this week. Should I be concerned?" Laugh out loud.
Eagle Lover Texas is here.
Eagle Lover Texas is here. Everybody, let's give Eagle Lover Texas a round of applause.
Good evening, Eagle Lover Texas.
You know what, Eagle Lover? I'm sorry. Sometimes they get rolling, and I do my best to keep up, but it can be
You can kick him in the shin when you see him.
Yeah, one step closer. How are you, my friend? Let me see here. What is an EMC? Says Richard. Love Runs Rapid says, tell more EMC. No, Eagle Lover, you are not on the naughty list. Mary Michelle, good evening to you. Let me see. A big kid says, trying to run a WOT, Mr. Rain. I'm getting too old for that crap. Jules says EMC equals CME. Yeah, so it's coronal mass ejection is CME. So I don't want to say a solar flare because they're different, but basically a solar flare. No, you aren't, says Tambra. I wonder what I'm not.
Probably talking to Eagle Lover, not being in a hole. Probably.
Yeah, RN says it's not an EMC, but an EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, if we get hit with a big one of those.
They gave us the 20-hour warning on an EMP.
Well, no, it's a CME, like a coronal mass ejection comes from the sun. No, it's a form of EMP. It's not the 3 waves of a nuclear EMP, but it's a form of one. John and Nicole do a live Tuesday morning, usually with a guest, Jack Spirico, every first Tuesday. The conversation is always awesome, says Faith. Yeah, I get along with Nicole real well. We've grown a lot in our relationship too. Jack Spirico's a good guy. But John's he's just this unique breed of human. There's just one of him. I'm not suggesting there's 2 of Nicole or there's, none of that kind of stuff, but there's a real interesting guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You probably connect on a different level.
EMC is a huge mainframe sized data storage, part of a Dell computers. Oh, wrong EMC. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Please give a welcome to my neighbor and great friend, Kim Barnett. He is, I think, on here for the first time. Wish I could bring him and his family with me to Kansas. Well, Kim Barnett, good evening. Welcome. And if you're here, we're super glad you're here. And whether you're in Kansas or anywhere else.
He says, hello, everyone.
Yep. I hope to see you more often. Skip down here a little bit. Yeah, look at all those hellos. See, Kim, don't you feel all like welcomed and, teary-eyed or any of that kind of stuff? Where am I at here? Tamara says, got 21 live chicks out of 26 fertilized eggs. How did I do?
I think you did better than I did.
Yeah, I think you did exceptional.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, one step closer says John is the real deal. Hey, Mandy Garrett, good evening to you. Okay, let me see here. Question: if an EMP should happen, will my walkie-talkie still work? Probably. Right? You know how we joke around about permaculture about it depends. So here's the thing: what you have to understand is that depending upon the direction it's traveling, the direction you are, from where it's traveling. Like in the case of an EMP, like a nuclear bomb, how high is it in the atmosphere? Because the closer to the Earth, the more intense, but the higher it is, the bigger radius. So there's just so many variables in it. But the good news is your walkie-talkie is a very small footprint. So think about it like as an antenna. How much electricity can it collect? And it's a pretty small footprint. Mm-hmm. So probably would be okay. Let me see here. Faith says, no, I know. The freedom conversation is always on point. Yeah. And, John and me, I think maybe the reason why we click is we're both high motored, and maybe we're both a little bit of a squirrel. I don't know.
I have not met him yet. So
Android Homestead, good evening to you. Long time no see.
Right.
All right. 74 people watching right now. Cool. That's pretty cool. I think I'm all caught up. Yep. All the way to the bottom. Treasured Home, you're very welcome. Okay, so what else we got going on?
Okay, so
what
else? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Hey, just for those of you guys who have emailed me that I haven't gotten back to, I am behind on my emails. I'm sorry. I'm just buried right now. I will get to it. I've got the festival coming up, which takes a whole lot, and Bee's got me buried out in the garage.
There's a few things that are going on.
Yeah.
Our houses. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of those. But anyway, so I just want to tell everybody I'm sorry I'm behind on my emails. I will promise you I will reply. Because I've got like 12 in there that
need to
be replied to, but I just haven't gotten to it. So if you quit driving me like, a slave driver, it'd be a whole lot easier. Good, what else you got?
I was getting ready to say like that, our house is sinking. So we've been a little busy. Mm-hmm. It's either our house is sinking or the dirt is rising.
Our house is not sinking.
The house is sinking.
No. You're such a dork.
The dirt around it is rising.
Explain to them what you mean.
Which means that the house is sinking.
She's such a dork. So
we have water issues.
Yeah, so we poured, and I've shot video of it. I just haven't put it out there yet. Easy, good evening to you. But anyway, so my house sits down from the top of the hill just a little bit. And so in a really, really, really bad rain, I get water that rushes down towards the door. And then we end up fighting it. In a normal rain, it's just fine. But in a 3 inches and 20-minute rain, well, I'm in trouble. And so what we did is we excavated it all out and we poured a footing all the way along the front and then around one side of my house. And I'm going to build about a 3-foot retaining wall. I got all the blocks sitting out there. The footing is in. I just got to go build it. And I'm going to use the excess concrete when I pour to do Bethany's planting box. So anyway, we're going to build up that 3-foot wall and then I'm going to slant the ground away from it. And so what she's saying is the house is sinking because I'm building a wall, but the house isn't going anywhere. She's a dork.
So
it's
like
not going anywhere.
The wall in front of the house. So like if your house is like normally right here, ground level, and then you're going to build a 3-foot wall in front of your house, your house is no longer level with the ground that's outside.
It never was.
You like walk out onto the ground. So now you have to like walk out and then go up some stairs and then walk out again. So like now you have like a I don't know, like
so let me ask you something. So hold on. So we had a question.
You have like
educate me. So you walk out your door and you walk up an incline of a hill. Or
like now?
Right now. That's what you do now.
I mean, yes, it's a hill, but it's all ground.
Yes,
but I guess it's ground. Is that what you're trying to say? Come on.
What's the difference between walking up a slope and walking up a couple stairs?
Now the house is no longer on that same.
The house did not move.
No, you're building the ground up around the house. I can't picture it all what it's going to look like, but the house is sinking.
Oh my goodness. Jules says build a moat, reverse moat.
Right now there is a moat.
A moat with some alligators. That would be cool.
That's what
Gypsy says, Tag, you cannot argue with that logic. No, Gypsy, I agree with you 100%. I cannot argue with that logic. Cannot. It is impossible.
Wait till you see it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Big Kid says Napa quoted me over $230 for new air filters for the dozer, but I had no choice but to opt out and blow the old ones out. Yeah, make them last as long as you can, huh?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Let me see here. Tag, how about a drain with an underlaying French drain? So we're doing that our end. So on the inside of the retaining wall, I'm pouring a 6-foot wide sidewalk. Okay. And in that sidewalk, there's a drain right on the other side. So any rain that gets over. And then on the top side, where the ground slopes back down, where that V comes together, I'll put another drain in. So I'll have 2 drains, a sloping wall, a retaining wall, all to deal with that.
Yeah, what did I have in there before? Drain tile.
You had drain tile in there before.
It was not enough.
Yeah, it was a 6-inch drain tile, and in those big storms, it just couldn't carry it away fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Oh, Faith, you had to, didn't you? B, the house isn't sinking. Tag is burying it.
Tag is burying it. No, he's like, what is? It's like a trench hole. It's like a. Oh, now you can be like, take cover, and I would be. Now we have cover
and concealment.
And concealment.
Look at that.
Yes.
Go
now
ahead.
We have.
Go ahead.
Good job. You did that. That was all well planned.
Oh my goodness. All right, where are we at? Raven's Nest Homestead says we have a couple of solar powered backup repeaters in our area we can use if the power grid goes down, but not sure if they'll work in an EMP hits. They will not. And I'll tell you why they will not, because it's a big antenna, right? If the repeater's what I'm thinking. See, the thing is that the bigger the antenna, and when I say antenna, I'm not literally talking about an antenna, because the electrical lines outside your house, if they're above ground, are an antenna, right? They will collect the energy, and then they will force that energy just down the line. So if your repeater's is on a big old antenna up there, it's going to get hammered. Now you can protect it, and you can ground it, and there's some things like that you can do, but it will absolutely take a beating. The greatest name on the internet,
Half Bubble Off Plum.
Half Bubble Off Plum, says, hey, all, just came in on the conversation. Building a moat, need a gator for it. Laugh out loud. I'm in Florida, you know. Yep. Faith says maybe we can. I'm giving you a basement, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I'm building a 2.5, 3-foot retaining wall. That's all I'm doing, guys. This is it.
3 feet is tall, though. That's a tall. No. It's like now the house is like garden level.
No. Yeah, and Rick, good drainage isn't much. And Hippocrates, of course, says, which I would expect this. No, he's working on pod 5. The Wallapini pod.
I wish.
Yeah, I haven't done anything on that. Where are we at here? Raven's Nest Homestead, so we are ham operators. Yeah, good. I think, I've got a nice ham radio. I am not licensed to those, so I listen. I don't transmit on it. And I've been back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do that. But it's hard to say. JB, okay, pictures on freesteading, then we can vote. Vote on what? What are we voting on? Whether to build the retaining wall? Because that ship has sailed.
Right.
I have excavated it and poured the footings already.
And now it's a moat.
Yeah, Raven's Nest Homestead says they're big repeaters. Yeah, it's going to, yeah. So you got to put something on them. Now there's ways to do that through filtering, through shunting, through ground rods, there's some things you can do to help it, but it's a big old antenna. Let me see here. Seeking Adventure Family. Hello. Says, hi, I really enjoy your content. Seen you with Willis months ago. Been following since, found out that I am just an hour away. Hey, man, an hour. That is so close. Are you going to make it out to the Midwest Preparedness Festival this next weekend? I hope you do. I'd love to meet you. Jamie says, Wallapini beginnings. No, we are not starting the Wallapini.
Not yet, unfortunately.
You got me plenty busy, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're working on the things you're working on.
Yeah, how much time did I spend in the house today?
I don't know, not long.
How about yesterday?
What's today?
How about the day before that?
I don't know. That's a lot of remembering.
No, didn't Tag also promise that he was going to build Bees Wallapini? I am going to build it, Jules, and thank you very much for this. However, it's just not on the top of the priority list. Dale Ernst, hey, how are you, my friend? I actually talked to Daryl a lot on through the comments on YouTube. I was thinking that maybe you could build a storm shelter into your wall if the ground goes uphill. Yeah, the good news is, Daryl, I have a great storm shelter. And there's zero chance I'm excavating that hill out of there
and putting in a
Yep. Where we at here?
Choche?
Choche says, sounds like your house is going to be a Wallapini.
A Wallapini.
Yeah, no.
A lot of Wallapini talk.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you? Welcome. Jonathan says, getting busy, ready for next week. Yep, Jonathan's coming out to the Midwest Preparedness.
Yeah, I killed my my Texas tarragon.
Oh, Jonathan, she killed the tarragon you gave her. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah. LJC wants to know what treats Jonathan has made so far. Jonathan's quite the cook. He made a bunch of treats last time and they were amazing.
He was making a caramel.
Yeah, Hippocrates says, I'm a ham operator and GMRS and they all have their place. The hard thing for us old guys is we were all about learning the operations and such, not just getting a license. Yeah, and you know what? I've got some really good buddies of mine who have extra licenses and, you know, those things. And I'm 100% for learning it. I just don't know that I want to get the license. You know, I'm getting to a point in my life where I really am done asking permission, you know, and I struggle with that. But
yeah,
JB says whether the house is sinking or not.
Oh, taking boat.
It is not sinking. The house did not move.
We're building cover. We're building cover.
Yeah, not a priority. Sounds like squash is back on the menu. No.
Not yet, but it will be in just a few months.
Yeah. Let me see here. Let me see. I saw an interesting squash recipe in a cast iron cookbook I found at a used bookstore.
Cast iron, yes.
Yep. Jonathan's making caramel. He's about to make babka dough. Tomorrow I will bake the babka and caramelites and bring all three. How far to the top of the hill, swell or ditch part way up? So, okay, so I live at a high elevation degrees or compared to my county, right? I'm at the second highest elevation. And I'm probably, if you're talking about drop, there's probably 2 feet of drop over 15 feet before you get to the top of the hill. So it's just not much. And it don't give me problems, except we've had these last couple of years, we'll get these rains where it's like 3 inches in 40 minutes. And in those rains, man, it just rushes right towards my front door and I can't stop it. And then, you know, we're out there trying to push it away and squeegee it away. And it's just, I just got to do something with it.
Yeah. You know, when we started this project, it was just the Quonset building.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't going to be an issue. It's just the house just continues to grow more north and it has not helped.
Well, right now it's growing to the west. In pod 5, as Hippocrates says.
I'm just saying that on this hill that we have been like, now we're collecting water from.
Let me see. Raven's Nest says I dug up Irish potatoes today and they did great staying in the ground in 7-degree weather this winter.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
7 degrees.
Yeah, anything with caramel's good rain. I agree 100%.
Yes.
Trying to see if there's any questions.
What
Mr. Rain Tag, are you building a curtain drain in front of your wall?
What's a curtain drain?
Yeah, so when you say in front of my wall, which side are you talking about? So on one side, so on the side that's closest to the house, I actually built you know when you screech your concrete, because I'm putting a sidewalk in there. I made basically a half circle on one of my screed boards, and I'm actually going to put a drain of concrete with little notches for a grate if I want to put it on. I'm going to run it the entire length of the retaining wall and all the way out. And then I'll put a French drain on the other side.
Like a groove, like a well.
The Treasured Home says, I never show a house grew on without a builder laugh out loud. Just joking. Yeah, of course, right? Daryl says, I'm with Tag on tired of asking for the right to do what I already have the right to do. Yeah, I struggle with that. You know, I just absolutely struggle with that. And I don't know, maybe I need to get over it. Maybe I don't. I don't have any idea. Terminator says, I cleaned up my garden area. We'll finish it and have it ready for my planting at the end of May and cleared behind the greenhouse and started digging and leveling for my log outdoor kitchen. Yeah, how cool is that?
That's exciting.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Super cool. Yep. Hey, Hilltop Homestead, how are you? Home place. Let me see here. No, that's guys. What I'm reading for is people comment to each other, And then some people comment to me, and so I'm just trying to read through them. Daryl says, Thomas Jefferson said, a free man's law are derived from nature, not a gift from his magistrates. Amen. Yep, amen. Be ungoverned. Yep, amen. Just in time, and I could not agree more. Could not agree more. Let me see here. When people tell me their city does not allow for chickens or rainwater collection, I tell them it's time for some civil disobedience. Amen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat. How are you, my friend? Yeah, Pat Wiley's in here, and we've known Pat a long time.
Are we going to see you soon?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we'll see you. You guys are going to be out there, I would assume, Pat, right? I mean, they haven't missed one in forever.
Oh, yeah. Setting up my camp kitchen.
She said, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we are not going to be staying out there. We're going to go out in the morning, and I'm going to try to go out every single day early and come home late every day. But because I live 30 minutes from there and we got animals, it's just not going to.
Oh, are you feeding people for a small fee?
Who?
Pat.
Yeah. Oh.
If they need anything, have him hit me up. I only charge a small fee.
Yeah, deal. I wish you good luck. I gave up fighting Mother Nature and just deal with it. Some years the water is worse than others. Yeah, that's how it is here too. We had no problems the first 2 years, none, zero. And then these last 2 years we get these monsoon rains, and then next you go. Hippocrates says sometimes following the rules is less about the man and more about respect to the others who put in the time and energy to achieve X, Y, or Z. Radio waves just go point to point. Okay, so I'm going to counter you, Hippocrates, right? So with all due respect, I don't think the state or the government or the feds signing off on a piece of paper that says you've donated X amount of time accomplishes what you said right there. If what you were going to tell me is that I needed to work hand in hand with an elder, I don't remember what they call him. There's a name for him in ham radio operator. Elmer. Anyway, I don't remember that I had to work, 40 hours with them before I could go on my own. You might get me to do it. But just like in a marriage license, if I could go back, I don't know that I'd have gone through it.
Yeah, he said Elmer.
Elmer, yeah. Storm Rider, good evening. Hello, all. I've been away for a couple weeks. Sorry, life, but gardening starting well, and keep the faith. Amen. Richard says, people today do not have a clue how many rights we have lost since our founding fathers. Yeah, they don't. Prep for the Attorney Homestead, good evening to you. Says, hey, we're sorry we're late. You're right on time. Let me see here. Treasured Home says, I never saw it what I meant. I'm sorry, I can't seem to spell tonight. It's all good.
We all get there.
Let me see. Thomas Jefferson said a free man's rights. Oh, yeah. I think I read that one already, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is what I meant. Yep, and Elmer. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Let me see here. I'm caught up. Okay.
Oh.
My turn, your turn.
We got some fish from a friend.
Yeah, that was an interesting story. Tell them that.
I wasn't there. I was sitting here and I was like, what are you guys doing down there by the pond?
The house is sinking.
And then when you came in, you said that you were putting fish in the pond. I'm like, there was a bucket. You guys were carrying a bucket.
Yeah. Okay, so my neighbor, one of the closest homesteads to me, is Hitch, and you guys have met Hitch on some of my videos. Anyway, a buddy of his showed up at his house with a whole bucket of fish to trade for eggs, and he didn't feel like cleaning fish, and they were still flopping, all black crappie and bass. And so he called me and said, hey, you want some fish? And so he brought a whole bunch over and threw them in my pond. So we got some.
They were all alive.
They were all alive. They all swam off. So super, super cool.
Is that a normal thing?
What?
Is that a country thing?
What?
For a neighbor to pull up in the truck with a bucket of fish.
Well, I don't think it's a country thing. I think it's a parallel society thing.
Somebody else showed up to his house with a bucket of fish.
And
then he came over to our house with a bucket of fish.
They showed up at his house to barter for eggs. This is parallel economy. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is how it should work. Okay. He just didn't want to clean them.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm too busy to clean them. I don't want them to go to waste.
He didn't have time.
Yeah.
He didn't have,
So I got them, which was pretty cool, I think. Rain Country says 4th of July is not a celebration of our freedom anymore. It's an honoring of what we've lost. Ouch. I deleted my first comment about Thomas Jefferson from my end, but obviously it did not delete on the other end. Okay, got it. It's a great quote. Our pool is a water backup for flushing the commode and water for our clothes washing if the water is ever off. Fortunately, we have a septic tank. Yep. 5 new chicks so far today and 24 rows of corn planted. 11. I'm sorry, 1.5 pounds of seed. Oh my goodness.
Good job.
Yeah, we're behind on our planting.
Yeah.
Well, I say we because I don't want to point anybody out who could actually be guilty of the
who does the
being
planting.
behind on the. Yeah, we're behind, huh?
We are. Notice that did not make my list. Nothing about the fact that I'm behind on what I should be doing. But my honey-do list is getting bigger.
That's painful.
Always?
Storm Rider said, question, I prepped some great soil for the garden seeds. Everything took off like crazy. Better than ever, except pepper, small and weak looking. Thoughts?
Not enough heat?
Yeah, it's pretty, depending on where you're at. Where are you, Storm Rider?
Because
that could absolutely be it.
Peppers are, they like heat.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, peppers.
Yep. Let me see here. Just in time says, I saw a documentary that the planted fish in lakes are sterile on purpose.
Oh,
yep.
Good thing they're not from a lake.
Yeah, they'd have just come from a farm pond around here, but yeah, but I think there's a lot of that stuff going on, right? Just in time, or not just with fish or crops, right? Our seeds. I can help you with that bee when I get there, says Birdseye.
Which part?
The garden.
Planting?
The thing the thing we're behind on.
The thing we are behind
we are behind on, yeah.
Yeah, when can you be here? Probably after camp out.
Mm-hmm. Daryl said a license is actually a permit to break the law. Nearly everything has been made illegal, so you have to have a license or permit to be a licensed criminal. I actually agree with that too. Potpourri for Life, good evening. Tag, you should get that neck twitch checked out. I know someone who could fix that.
Yes. Yes.
You guys.
Yeah, people are starting to think that you're like looking around. That's kind of weird.
Yep, I keep thinking I'm late planting, Tag, but they moved our last frost date to the 30th. We used to plant on or around the 15th.
Yes, thank you, big kid.
Maybe we're right on time.
We are right on time.
Right.
Little bit.
Yeah, Miley says, I stay backed up. Laugh out loud. Woke up Monday morning with over 2 feet of heavy, wet snow, says Richard. What a mess that was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's north.
Yeah. Bird's Eye View says all the garden stuff.
Yeah.
I just packed 25 pounds of pinto beans and 25 pounds of rice while listening. See, I love this.
Good time. Just in time.
Yeah. For you guys who are out there listening, if you guys are doing things like that, like putting food up or planting or that, make a comment what you're doing while you're listening. Because I quite often, when I'm working, I'll turn on a podcast. I'll turn on, someone who I like listening to, and I'll just work and, go about my thing. So I like to hear that kind of stuff.
And if you don't know how to put food up and you need help putting food up, you need questions you answered, let us know.
Rain says things are here are having to be planted later than usual because of the cold.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought too. That usually St. Patrick's Day is when you put potatoes in, and it was way too cold.
Florida Mama Bear said, anyone tried electroculture? Because you've been trying to talk me into doing this, right?
Is that what that's called?
Mm-hmm. We put the copper.
Rod, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She wants me to try it. I have not done it. South of Cincinnati, frost warning for Sunday to Monday. Yeah, we're supposed to get frost tonight here. Towards Joy and Freedom said, just finished feeding our rabbits and chickens. Yeah, I love that. Mama Rain is dehydrating like crazy. She's dehydrating red cabbage today.
Oh, I love it.
We have a 2,500 gallon and 16 of the 330 gallon IBC tote coming next week. So we have to build build a pad for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for you though. Think about how wonderful that is for water storage though, right?
Yes, congratulations, Vandy.
Yeah, just in time. So they adopted 7 chickens. Now they have 17. I've been starting my seeds in a small greenhouse because they sprout a lot faster. Yeah, she puts her. If you went into Bee's greenhouse right now, it's all green. It's pallet after pallet after pallet of stuff that's growing.
Yeah, that was one of my things that we're eating out of the greenhouse. So,
Yep, a lot of microgreens.
Microgreens, lettuces. spinach.
Yep. Jonathan's packing for the festival while he's listening, and did some bunny work and some garden work with packing.
Yeah.
Bird's Eye said, I've been watching videos on fencing and regenerative grazing. Cool.
Yeah. Good, good, good.
I estimate about a 5-year supply of food stocked up. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I know what that is. That's
Congratulations.
A lot. Yeah, Mandy says that Danny's talked about electroculture and he wants to experiment with us. Yeah, I think B wants to too.
Okay.
Suzanne Fritz canned 24 pints of hamburger today. Nice. And look at all you guys. You guys are all like doers, right? I've been planting seeds and I'm grateful for the greenhouse my husband built. First time growing Brussels sprouts. Cool.
Wonderful.
Tambra, I fell in chicken pen while segregating roosters and some hens and hurt my arm, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm a little slow getting some stuff planted too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep South just had a video about electroculture. Good pin for a guy that does it. Can't remember his name.
Okay.
Rain says we buried our main water tanks to keep them dark and insulated and also out of the way. Yeah, you get the right tank. We've got two buried.
Yeah, you have to get the right ones to bury them, though, right?
Yeah, we have two beneath ground, and we have 2 above ground. Right.
Yeah. Oh, you just passed one. Somebody's doing something with some nuts.
Oh.
Something with some nuts today. Vacuum packed some nuts today.
Oh, JB. Cool.
JB, thank you. Heidi, dehydrating eggs and peppers are in the dehydrator now. I need to dehydrate peppers. I could probably run my dehydrator now with the sun, right? Can I run it during because the dehydrator does, unlike the freeze dryer, you can stop the dehydrator and start it again. So I could probably start my dehydrating of my peppers, which would freeze up. That's what, so like I've been waiting to clean out the freezers because I have so many peppers in there that if I can start that, that would be great.
Helen says she's just relaxing.
Good.
I love that. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, nice. Congratulations.
Big Kid said I pulled a bead on a fat rabbit a couple hours ago. But he got to walk. We were run over with rabbits. Lover on Rampant says nothing fun here, just doing laundry, never ending with 10 kids.
I love clean clothes.
You can imagine the laundry it would take for 10 kids?
No.
Could you imagine the amount of cheese you would go through?
No.
Or milk you would go through?
Yeah.
How awesome.
Some socks. Could you imagine mating that many socks?
Oh my goodness. I think am so far behind.
I'd probably put them in a box and just be like, grab what you want.
If I skip somebody, I apologize. There's just a lot of them. Mandy said they planted 28 popular trees. How cool is that?
Popular ones?
I bet you they were very popular.
Probably.
Are your trees sinking?
Or is the ground around them just
No, that's just the mulch.
Oh.
Right, the tree's not actually moving.
Yeah, probably can't take cover in there. Your mulch.
Daryl says good night from Puerto Rico. Good night, bud. Still, Roz fed the horses, herd the chickens back into their run. Food bribery works great.
Yes.
Yoda says got 7 ponds of driveway asparagus today. I think she says pounds. Is that pounds?
Pounds, probably.
I guess, yeah.
Of driveway asparagus.
Yeah.
I gotta go pick the asparagus. That reminds me.
Hippocrates did laundry. You know, your skill set, Hippocrates, is so fascinating.
Ham radio.
I didn't know you could do laundry.
And clean clothes.
Right, I'm just going to skip up here a ways. If I miss somebody, I'm sorry, but I'm getting so far behind, I'm never going to catch up. Where are we at here? Tag, I've building rock rings around the red fleshed apple trees I started from seed 2 years ago. Well, you realize that what you're actually doing is you're making your tree sink. Right? You're lowering the level of the tree by bringing the rocks up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm raising the ground.
I've been picking dandelion flowers every day. My dehydrator is full right now. Oh,
are you dehydrating the flower heads?
Yeah, that's, you know how you know that?
Choche?
You know how you know that?
Because
she says my dehydrator's full.
Yeah, with the dandelion heads? What do you
I've been picking dandelion flowers every day. My dehydrator is full right now. She also said she had 7 kids and we color coded the socks.
Oh, that's a
actually
really good idea.
Pretty cool. Yeah, really cool. What kind of tank do you use to bury? So there is, when you buy them, you can buy ones that are meant to be buried and ones that are not meant to be buried. So it's basically, they just look different. You know what like a plastic septic tank looks like, how there's ridges on it? So that like a cistern, which would be white in color typically, when you bury them in the ground, they have ridges on them. The black ones are usually meant to be above ground because that's why they're black, right? Just to keep the sun out of them. But they actually make them buriable and not. Now, the other tanks, I think you can bury as long as you keep water in them. But if you can imagine like a 2,500 gallon tank that empties with water, now you get the pressure of the dirt. You're going to push that tank. It's going to pop it up, or potentially pop it up out of the ground. Jules says, I have more dandelions in my itty bitty yard, and the more I pull up, the faster they grow. Maybe you're supposed to be making some jelly for the camp out.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Matt says, I just finished my commute home, dinner time now, and rumor has it that meatloaf is on the menu. I love meatloaf,
We haven't
Matt.
had meatloaf in forever.
Yeah. Raymond's Nest says they use dandelions for tea. I saw the biggest squash bug I'd ever seen in our greenhouse. That's pretty cool, about 2.5 inches long.
Oh my God.
Lauren says I killed it with a 2x4.
Wow.
That's overkill.
Dinner.
Yep, I have some dandelion in our yard. I need more, so I planted them. Isn't that crazy how you're planting dandelions?
Oh.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? Because we don't have a lot of dandelions here. At least at this place.
No,
Our other place had tons. Let's see here. Dang it, Tag. I wish I'd thought about that sooner. Oh, you got plenty of time. It's 7:46. What are you going to do the rest of the night?
She's got to give Jasper his massage.
All right, what else you got? Let me go.
Yeah, I've been finally, we've lived here for a few months. I've been unpacking and rearranging stuff.
I can't believe you just said that with a straight face.
I can't believe you walked into the living room and didn't even notice that I rearranged the furniture.
Yeah.
Did you didn't even notice? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was busy.
We have 2 full-size couches in our living room, and they were in an L-shape pattern in the living room, one on each wall, and I put them both on the same wall, and he walked in and didn't even notice. So there's that.
And we lived here a couple months.
And we've lived
and
here,
I'm lowering the house.
And we've lived here for a couple months now, so I'm starting to unpack stuff. Yeah, I found like the VCR that was in the basement and at the old house and the surround sound system. Yep. And
yeah, we've lived here several years and she's still unpacking.
Several years?
Yes.
We've lived here for 1.5 years, right?
No.
Yeah. We moved here in 2001.
We moved here in 2001?
Didn't we?
Well, it's 2000. What year is it?
2003.
It's 2003?
23.
You know what? I don't think that I need to touch that one. I think she's done enough damage all by herself.
Oh my gosh. 21. Holy
and now it's 23.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
So almost 2 years. We've lived here for almost 2 years.
No.
Oh man. In 2001.
Oh my goodness. Big Kid says I'm observant. Purchased 20 feet of greenhouse, hoping it warms up enough to get plants started in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's 1 + 1 is 2. In case you didn't know.
Like, so not tomorrow, but the next day.
Hippocrates says, I'm having memories of describing how to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, Hippocrates, you rock, man.
I do remember how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Thank you. I had forgotten the last time.
Just in time said senior citizen moment.
Oh my god. You know, those are coming more and more frequently.
Oh my goodness.
People.
That is just awesome.
Those moments come more and more frequently.
Yeah, and tonight, apparently we get the mother load.
Tonight is just over and over and over again. I just better go to bed. Wow.
Oh my good. Never Alone Homestead says growing sweet potatoes, corn, garden peas, okra, butter beans, peas, cucumbers, broccoli, cauliflower, watermelon, cantaloupe, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, string beans, and squash, lettuce, potatoes, etc.
Sheesh.
That's a lot. Never Alone Homestead's not behind.
They're never alone either.
Faith says, B, don't feel bad. I said today, I told Mama I was heading there from the end of May to the beginning of March, so she should expect me. Face palm.
Oh.
Big Kid says, you all are laughing like y'all been out all night with Willie Nelson. Apparently, she's been spending too much time with Willie Nelson.
Apparently.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, get serious.
Get serious. Got my pond water darkened. I like the look. Hope it helps with the undergrowth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Quit picking on the bee. Yeah, no way.
Right.
Right now we are growing mud and slugs. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about slugs. I wonder if they make good fishing bait. Probably, huh? It's only because she's timeless without keeping a specific calendar of time. Right. Right. I remember we moved in here in 2001 like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Or so.
Crack me up, babe. I love you. Never a dull moment. I no longer have blonde moments. They are full-blown blonde days. This is Jules, yeah. Dorothy says, I love Bee's banana and peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah, I love banana and mayonnaise sandwiches better than I like bananas and peanut butter. Yeah. If I ever see you, Tag, we're going to gang up on you. It's cool. You know what? I can take it. And if, you can, catch me in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich moment, knock yourself out. Faith says yesterday was 420. Was it? Yesterday was 420.
Yesterday was my mom's birthday.
JB, no, it's not necessary. I usually just add them dry to whatever I am using them in if I am adding liquid anyway. It's probably talking about something about dehydrating and I just missed it. Yep. And apparently some rust. So he's rust and you're a blister. Heidi, is that how that works? Love peanut butter and banana sandwiches, says Still Roz. 2001, folks, was still freaking about the world ending because of Y2K computer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It seems like just yesterday we moved into me.
Yeah.
Right?
It
was. Literally,
that's
right?
Just trying to. Mm-hmm. So are you trying to say that I should have had stuff unpacked already?
And Mr. Rain says she's a rusty blister.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Does that make you a rusty callus?
You, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want? Anything else? You want me to go for a couple of them?
Got my kitchen sink finally installed.
Well, it was always installed. You just got it siliconed. You got it permanently installed.
And we've lived here since 2001.
Yeah, apparently. I remember when I used to, I could do things a lot faster. Yeah, I'm not.
Really, Patrick?
Poor B. She outed herself as a member of the BWPP Blonde Women Protection Program. Oh, wonderful.
I'm getting a few little blonde stripes in
Baby,
there.
Those aren't blonde, just so you know.
They look blonde to me.
Uh-huh. They're gray. They're gray.
Oh, Lord.
She's getting gray hair. Yeah, the Yoda says they're gray.
They're glittery.
Well, here's the cool thing. Yoda would know. Right?
She's seen them before?
Yeah, she got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Right?
They shine.
They shine.
They shine like diamonds.
She's getting wiser, they said. They are tints. Or they're tinsel.
Tinsel.
I like that.
Like on a Christmas tree.
You're a Christmas tree. Yeah, it's your shine, baby.
Okay, so next, anyway, so got the incubator started.
Oh, yes.
I have 48 spots and I got 38 eggs in.
And your other chicks are doing great, the ones that you hatched the last batch, right? You've lost one.
I have the chicks.
Mm-hmm. Your first chick,
ducks.
not the ducks, the chicks.
I didn't lose any.
I thought you had one you lost.
At the right when they hatched, way back then, but not since then.
Okay,
everybody's doing.
So they're
fine,
doing good,
growing. Yeah. They're out in the main chicken coop, holding their own.
Well, they're in the baby part of the chicken coop. They're in their own pen.
Yes.
They're not in the coop with all the big dogs.
Well, they're in the coop, but they're separated from the big. Yes, but they're not under a brooder. They're not in the heated area. Mm-hmm. They're fully feathered. They're on their own, and doing great. Mm-hmm. And
the ducks are doing good.
The ducks are doing good. They are so messy. It took them 2 hours to empty a pint of water onto the floor of the brooder. Mm-hmm. So I have to go in there every little bit and mop up the water that's like sitting there and then fill their water up again. I have to find something else. I have to do something else. That's not working. I can't just have water all over the floor, right?
Yeah, why don't you glue the water pen down?
Huh?
Velcro or glue the water bowl down. Make it so
they're not moving the bowl.
Oh, they're like, you're not going to get away from
They're
that.
Like picking up the water and spitting it or something. I don't know. I don't know how they get it from here to there. I don't.
Because they flap their wings and they splash. And
they're walking in it too. Like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I don't know.
Hippocrates says a blonde on a riverbank yelled to a blonde on the other bank, "How do I get to the other side?" The second blonde said, "You're on the other side."
She is.
Yeah. Z Lynn says, "Why the army shirt? We don't want wars." No, we don't want wars. But I'm a veteran. I served in the army. I'm proud to serve in the army.
I was gonna say, that's an old shirt.
Yeah, it's an old shirt. It's what I grabbed tonight. Let me see. I have some chicks hatching today for my neighbor. I wish I had some duck eggs. We could probably get you some duck eggs. This is our first round of ducks. We've never had ducks before.
She's in Texas.
Yeah, but you can ship them.
Oh.
Just because someone has served in the military does not mean they want wars. Yeah, I'm actually super proud to be a veteran. You know, when I joined, I thought we were going to, spread freedom all over the world. And promote, again, freedom. It turned out that wasn't the case, but I'm super proud of the time that I served and would do it again obviously in the right circumstance. Let me see here. Duck poultry cups for water. Duck poultry cups for water. Zin says, "Don't advertise wars." I'm not advertising a war. It says army. I'm sorry your house is sinking. That's terrible.
It is. All the dirt around it is just raising up.
Who has put snails in your pond for cleaning? I have not.
Snails?
Why did the blonde cross the road? Not even God knows why. Zealand, wearing that shirt doesn't mean that. Yeah, it's okay though. Listen, guys, here's the thing. Zealand, I welcome the questions and I welcome the critique, and there's nothing you said that I would consider was an attack on me or rude. I'm in. I think it's perfectly fine. I think war is horrible, but I also believe that without the threat of violence, you can't have peace, in a lot of ways. And if we just, said, hey, no more wars as America, pretty soon you'd have some country over here trying to kick our asses. So, like I said, I'm super proud of serving and would serve again obviously in the right, circumstance. I wouldn't be too happy today, but if I was protecting my homeland, I certainly would. But yeah, no big deal. I take no offense from it. It's cool. Let me see here. I lost it. Water spitting chickens, OB. We hung our water and feed containers from chains. Yeah, it's not the chickens, it's the ducks. The chickens are fine.
So maybe, but hanging the duck water from a chain, maybe then they couldn't walk in it.
Yep. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but they are messy. They're super
I don't know
messy.
how to keep the water in the waterer.
Yeah, Reagan Country says Patrick was in the army. I didn't know that.
Oh,
cool.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, super cool. DeVries Custom Leather says, "Go Army." Let me see. Thank you for your service for our country. Yeah, I serve with pride, and it's too bad it's turned into what it's turned into. And I wish that I wish it wasn't the way that it was. And it's my grandpa served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam, and I served, and my son served, and my youngest son, the middle one, wanted to serve, and I have to admit, guys, I didn't do anything to talk him out of it.
To talk him into it.
I did not promote it in any way because I'm like, man,
And I think son number 1 actually kind of talked son number 2 into not going.
Yeah. Let me see here. I put mine in a trough and put some bricks in the bottom and put some wire on the bricks, and all the water went to the bottom of the trough. Yeah, I think that maybe is the answer, is use a trough for their brooder instead of a plywood like we use for the chickens. Right, get a trough. The problem is at night here it's still getting pretty cold, and so we need the brooders.
Is a trough? What's a trough? Something that goes outside?
Yeah, like a
feeder,
like what a horse would drink out of, a water trough. A big metal round.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
As an Army brat, no military personnel I know once wore. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being proud of the military branch one had served in. Yeah, and I'm proud. Yep, I'm absolutely proud. I used water troughs as a brooder for my birds. Yeah, she's got a really cool brooder for her chickens, but the problem is it's made out of plywood. It works great for chickens. But the mess the ducks make, we might have to, go at it, another way.
So if you use a trough, then it's plastic. And so how does that stop them from spreading water all over?
Well, the trough I was thinking would be like the metal ones, like the ones you see at like a farm and home store. They're just a big round rectangle.
Like what Tractor Supply has their chicks in.
Like that kind of thing. Because then the water wouldn't hurt anything.
But it's still water all over the bottom, right? You still have to sop it up with something.
Yeah, but it's not going to get on your floor. Big Kid says an armed society is a polite society. I could not agree more. Yep. I grew up out here in redneck country, and everywhere I go, there's armed people everywhere. We don't have any issues. None. Talking about middle son, then bricks in the trough, my brain cells are twisted. Yeah, I go all over the place, huh? DeVries Custom Leather says airport 5 a.m. Good night. Hey, good night to you, my friend, and thanks for all you've done, and thanks what you've done for me. And I hope that we can push some business your way. I know you're a like-minded person. I know you're doing the right things. So anybody that needs any leather stuff, go look up DeVries Custom Leather. Tough as that thing I put Patrick's dinner in. Oh, a trough is that thing I put Patrick's dinner in. Yeah, I would expect nothing else from a rusty callus. I served. What are you poking at me for?
Come on now. It's okay if he's going to call her that. You're not going to call her that.
I served, and the last thing anyone in or was in the military ever wants to be is in a war. Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. I've seen people use an IBC tote cut in half as a brooder, at least easy to clean out. Like what we use for trash cans, I put mine in the garage and put a broomstick over the top to hang light on. Hey, Nostradamus. Good evening to you. Ducks, stupid phone. Oh, she must have said something. I must have missed it, Yoda. I'm sorry. Raise your ducks with your chickens, and they will be scared of water. I did that when I had ducks, and they were much neater then. Well, that ship's already sailed Raven's Nest, because B has actually filled the bathtub up with, 2 inches of water in the house and put the ducks in. And man, they're diving underwater and swimming all over the place. And then the other problem is I have 3 ponds on my property. And so I'm not going to be able to keep them out of the water. But Eagle Lover says, my thoughts are ducks like to play in water. Oh my gosh, do they? They're so cute. Even at 3 days old, they were diving under the water. It was so cute. Tamber says some troughs have drains in the bottom of them. Yeah. Yep. Good night, Leather King. Oh, how cool is that? Yeah. Thanks for figuring out what I meant. Yep. See, I cannot even blame my typos on autocorrect since I'm on a computer. Yep. That's so much fun to put them in the bathtub. I'm telling you, it is so much fun to put them in the bathtub. They're so cute.
They're here. They're doing great. They are getting big. Yep. It's harder to hold them. They're so much squirmier than chickens.
Yep.
And it's so when they look at you, they like turn their head sideways to look at you because they don't look at you like straight on.
Yeah, I've got a friend. You guys know Bobby Spags from Spags Unfiltered. Bobby raises ducks, and he told me that they are personable and loving, and actually have you kind of have a relationship with each one of them if you get to know them and you personalize them. So we'll see. Yoda says she always puts chips down. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Yep. Eat the ducks and start over, says Raven's Nest Homestead. They're pretty little, man. It'd be like
they were just born.
A duck nugget. What's wrong with that?
A duck nugget. Would you eat duck nuggets?
I don't know. I would try
you
them.
Like duck?
I've eaten duck before. It was okay, but it was a long, long time ago. So we're gonna have to try it again.
Duck.
Right? 9 brothers on my mom's side served in World War II. One was a staff sergeant for General Patton. Unfortunately, he did not make it. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Our ducks won't go near our pond. I think we kept them away from water too long. Yeah, ducks are so much fun. Yeah, baby turkeys. I want to get some turkeys. It's something we don't have. I would love to have some turkeys, but I have not. That'd be on my list somewhere.
Did you ask for the duck eggs?
Yes.
Or okay, I didn't know. I thought maybe he just gifted them to you.
Duck nuggets, duck nuggets, duck nuggets, duck nuggets, crunchy duck nuggets. Ducks are tastier than crickets.
I thought you were going to sing a song there.
No, look, I got all the duck nuggets.
Duck nuggets.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt. Maybe that young, they'd taste less ducky. Yeah, maybe.
They'd be more crunchy.
Yeah, duck nuggets and squash.
That's a meal. That's a complete meal.
It's a complete meal. The Forest Service guy or someone like that told me having a pond has one large downfall. They tend to cause the spread of avian sickness from wild birds to your place. Yeah, I've actually heard that too. I just don't know how to stop it because I've got a big pond and 2 little ponds. And my big pond, it is not uncommon to see geese on it or ducks on it that aren't ours. They just somehow ended up there.
Yeah.
Ducks are more greasy meat, but still good. It's just Cram It Dreams. You got to keep in a pen or they will get on your vehicles.
Oh.
I think she's talking about the turkeys. Oh, maybe make them like Cornish hens. Yeah, they're little though. They're little itty bitty guys right now. They wouldn't even.
Not even that.
They wouldn't be a Cornish hen yet.
Yeah.
Turkeys. Yeah, she says turkeys.
They were just born last week, right? The ducks were born last week.
Oh, my geared outlawed ponds. Me either, Tag, and I'm building a pond. So, yeah, and I wouldn't trade my pond. I've told B many times in the time that we've lived here, that's probably the best money I spent. And everything we built and all the money that we spent building it all, because man, that pond is just amazing recreation. It's got fish in it all over the place.
Entertainment. There is so much that comes up and drinks out of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful to watch. The deer, or even
just that bird that keeps coming.
Blue heron, and it's annoying. It sits on the edge of my pond and wants to eat the fish.
It's huge. That bird is huge.
Yeah. It was down there when we came up here tonight.
And it's getting closer because now we used to only be on the other side of the pond, and now it's getting closer to the house. Yeah, it's walking the whole dam.
Yeah. I'm glad we have a pond.
Yeah, and now that the above ground pool is gone, you could see a lot more of the pond. Yeah. Not so much of a eyesore.
Yeah. Prep for Attorney Homestead said we have wild geese or wild ducks come to our pond too. Yeah, happens there too. When I was a kid, we had an attack turkey on our farm. Nobody was safe from his attacks.
Oh, wow.
Neighbor just got ducks and just had babies. I call them Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the squid tones. Yeah, I like that. Tamara says everything will get ducks, even cats. Yeah, I've heard that they're pretty helpless. How deep and big is your pond? So, Richard, my big ponds, I have 3 ponds, but the big pond's 2.5 acres. And it's 21 feet deep. And when I built it, I made pretty much the whole bottom 21 feet deep. So there's not really a lot of, once you get to the center, there's not really much of a slope. It slopes down to it, but it's pretty much, 21 feet across. And I wanted it deep on purpose. And I'm going to tell you guys, if I could do it different, the only thing I would have done different is I'd have made it deeper and bigger.
Really?
I would have. Yeah, because the thing is, it's just there's no chance to ever go back and do it again, really, unless you drain the pond and start over, which I ain't doing that.
Right.
What kind of fish did you stock your pond with? So we put, so the first year we put
sunfish,
catfish, sunfish, bluegill, and feeder fish in it so they could get established, a few bass. And this year we've put bass and black crappie in it. This year.
And what did the neighbor just put in?
Bass and black crappie.
Okay.
So that's what's in there now. We had a heron come sit on my neighbor's house and try to eat our fish out of our pond. Yeah. There we got one out here. And if you even walk out on the deck, he'll fly away. But he's every time I turn around, he's back down there. Hey, Nancy, good evening.
Hey, Nancy.
Yep. Buffalo Seed Company is here tonight.
Yep. I got your email. I'll talk to Tag and respond.
Rickster says duck and goose liver
liver pate.
Pate are delicious. No thanks.
Foie gras.
Tamara Smith says I have 2 ponds. They call them tanks where I live in Texas. Yeah, is it because they're small, or is that just what they call them? When I was a kid, we had a rooster that barked like a dog. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still listening, says Faith. Stepped away to do these soil tests. Oh, cool. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Yeah. My ducks like kiddie pools better than the pond. Yeah, because we got to clean them out. I'm hoping to take one of my ponds. If the duck thing works out, I'm going to take one of my ponds, one of the little ones, and fence it and just give the ducks their own, their own paddock that has a pond on it, has everything on it. They can just do their thing. To
spit in the water.
Yep. Have any advice on knowledge on having bees on the homestead? What advice would you give somebody who wants to have bees on the homestead?
Do it.
Any advice? That's encouragement. Advice is like, here's a tip.
Put it on the put it facing south, north, wind block. North wind block.
So block the north wind, face the hives to the south.
The entrance faces the south. What else?
I would say use the polystyrene hives instead of the wood hives.
Yes.
Because the wood ones just fall apart so quick. The
wood ones you'll replace more often.
Yep. I would say find a partner who wants to help you, because when it comes to harvest, there's some of those, big boxes that are really, really heavy.
Yeah.
So I would definitely make sure you got someone who's willing to go down that road with you, because again, they get heavy.
Smoke them.
Yep. Don't wear tennis shoes when you go and mess with them. Ask me how I know.
Yep. Wear appropriate attire.
But they're super fascinating. I love how they hold hands.
Yes. If it's something that you have time to do and you're interested in doing it, I think you should do it, because there is nothing like it. I used to get anxious and my heart used to just really race when I would hear the humming of their wings. But it's actually, if you sit there and watch them, it is quite fascinating. And it's actually quite kind of calming too, when when you're used to it and you aren't as paranoid about it. It's actually kind of calming, just the hum that they make. But you could also hear, their hum changes depending upon what you've done. If you're holding you're holding a nice frame and you drop it onto the colony, then they start buzzing louder.
I can tell you from my perspective, I don't really do it other than harvest time. I come carry them for her. From my perspective, I just love the result. We get the honey, we get the wax, and bee uses all of it. Nothing goes to waste. Also, we get all these wonderful pollinators all over the property. And I think it's about creating an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
It's really about creating everything on your homestead that does everything for you.
Well, there's, you can get even like the pollen you can harvest from the colonies. And we do, I don't, there's a lot of medicinal properties even in the pollen and the propolis. I've made lip balm with propolis in it. But otherwise, we don't use a whole lot of the propolis for anything else, or the bee bread, or the pollen. But they do all have, properties that are health beneficial to you. So there's a lot of good reasons to have them, not just the honey.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of meant by the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because they're pollinating your fruit trees and they're doing all of these wonderful things. But it's, you got to take care of them or they won't be there.
Yeah.
Right. Rain Country said, I'm fine with that. I think I'm going to be the life done free typo queen. Yeah. Need a sign next to the pound. Caution. Pond stocked with piranha.
Pond.
A
Probably
pond.
pond.
Yeah. They don't call them tanks in East Texas. Let me see. Get extra boxes and frames and more. Check. Yeah, Bee's got a bee storage place, and she's got lots of that stuff. But I'm telling you, the wood stuff just either
and might check.
Yeah,
that's probably that's what he said. And might check.
And might check.
So that would be the advice: get extra boxes and extra frames, and might checks.
Yeah. Never check the hives in a kilt. No.
I mean, you could, but
no. You know, you see those videos on TV of people like with no protection.
Yes.
No way, zero chance. I'm actually scared of them. I go over there and man, if one time I was in a whole suit and I was wearing tennis shoes, and man, they got me all over my ankles. I was running.
I will never. And I do see the people over there, not over in my apiary, but I do see people in their apiaries who have no protective gear on, and there is I respect them so, and they, no matter how careful I am, accidents could happen. And it only takes one time I had them all over me, biting me, or not biting me, stinging me. And I had an incident where I got several stings, and I will never go over there without a full suit and boots and gloves and triple checking to make sure everything is zipped up, because I do not want. I think that helps me to have a peace of mind and to be able to calm down when I'm over there, to just know that everything is covered. Because when you're over there and you're sweaty and you got sweat like literally running down your back, you know that it's just sweat and not something else. Wait,
when did you do your bee class at the school?
Monday.
Richard says, how far from the house do you keep the hives? It's 1,500 feet away.
Ours right now are. I'd like to move them
closer, or
maybe do another
apiary.
Start. Yeah.
Any advice for someone who wants to raise bees but are afraid of them?
So I was afraid when I first started, and I think that if you're totally covered, that's like with that peace of mind, if you're totally covered and you know that like nothing can sting me, although they can still sting you through your suit. If you have, they stung you on your nose when your nose touched your suit. They stung me on my knees when I bent down and pushed them into my knees. So, I mean, I've been stung through my suit, but it is very rare. So when you have that peace of mind that you're going to be okay, I think you can put some of that, you can relax a little bit and know that you're going to be okay. Yeah. If you're not allergic to them to where you need an EpiPen, then you can do it.
Yeah. Mr. Rain wants to know if we have predators that are after our fish. Do your fish get along, or are they predatory towards each other? We have plenty of predators. There's one down there right now, a blue herring, trying to eat my fish.
And there are fish that are predatory to other fish.
Yeah, they don't get along.
Yeah.
They eat each other. They eat themselves.
They complain one often.
My dad was a bee charmer, said Raven's Nest. The old timers called it. He could reach in a bee hive in a tree and pull out a honeycomb without getting stung.
Yeah.
Nope, not me.
There are people like that, but.
Love Runs Rampant says it's called vestuning when they hold hands. I think a swarm is so calming, make you slow down.
Yes, it is calming.
Yep. Mine are about 200 feet. I have a vinyl lattice on the back side to partially block the sun and the wind. Yep. Yep. Raven's Nest said, I'd love to have beehives. They're fascinating. Do you use the bee pollen? Florida Mom Bear wants to know.
I have pollen, kind of tastes nutty. I have not, other than lip balm, I have not consumed it.
Yeah, Milk and Honey says your local extensions may have classes. Tell them how you learned to do it.
Yeah, we have Shawnee County. What is that? Rec Center, I think. Shawnee County Parks and Rec has classes that they do. And they do like the first year beekeeping, and then they do second year and beyond beekeeping classes. So it's like once a week for a month, I think, or maybe it's a several months. Right? Is it several
Oh
months?
yeah, you went
once
for several
a week
months.
for several
Yeah,
months.
you and Yoda went and did it together, right?
And the good news about that, like when you go and take classes, if you can find classes, they usually go along with the season. So like when it's swarm time for normal area, then they'll do like swarm classes. Or when it's time to do bee inspections, they'll do a bee inspection. They'll talk about that during the classes. So whatever's going on at that time during the year is what they'll be talking about. So, you know, if you're talking about oxalic acid treatments, you can rush home and, you know, practice on your own colonies.
She did the beginner's class, and you've not taken a class after that, right?
I think I took the beginner's class twice, didn't I?
Did you? I don't know. But anyway, it's now, we harvest honey every year and are doing fine. And
twice a year.
Yep.
Spring and fall.
I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit, guys, because I am like.
Because I was talking, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just, I don't think I have to go very far. My thought is getting bees, do a lot of research, and maybe a class, a lot to know. There is a lot to know. Yep, tape around your ankles. Yep, I got one empty vertical hive, want a horizontal hive, but want to get started for pollination. Yeah, so why is it you don't use the horizontal hives? Because you don't, right?
I don't know much about them. It's just it's a different kind.
But you don't have anything against them, or you don't know anything any different?
No. I think in the wild, I was told, I mean, I'm not a bee.
You are a bee.
I am bee.
And it's not 2021.
So they 2021, that they are natural, vertical beings. And so it's normal for them to, you know, build and then fill and then build and fill and build and fill instead of sideways, I guess, is what I've been
Tamara
told.
says bee stings are supposed to help with arthritis.
I've bee therapy, bee sting therapy. I've heard of that. Let me tell you, when I got stung all over my body, it did not, I didn't notice my arthritis.
Yeah, probably because all you noticed was the sting. I wonder if that's why it helps with arthritis, takes your brain off of it.
Because your item swells, you know, double the size of what it's supposed to be.
Let me see. B, know if you are afraid of them, they'll sense it. They will absolutely sense it because I'm afraid of them. And she's over there in the middle of the hives, tearing the hive apart. And they ain't nothing. They ain't even bother, but they're around me and they're angry. And so I think they can absolutely tell. I think also they get used to a particular person because the only time I go over there is to harvest.
Well, and my suit smells, you know, like my suit smells like sweat and dogs.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's got, you know, yellow drips all over it. And yours is nice and clean and bright white. And maybe mine smells like dirty.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, here comes that dirty thing.
Now, Jonathan says maybe you can find someone who has them and spend a little time around them. That's a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely great.
Good advice, Jonathan.
Some people are allergic or become allergic to bees and need always keeping EpiPens always. Yep, I agree with that. I'm going to skip down here a little bit. Okay, try to get towards the bottom. Remember, life done free includes the circle of life. I agree with that.
Yes.
Yep, I do. B, do you rent your bees out and send them off to orchards each year? I hear there's good money in that.
No.
Yeah, we kind of have an interesting theory on our. It's interesting to me on our property. We really don't sell anything. We consume our honey. We consume what we grow. We consume our vegetables. We, consume our eggs. We don't really sell anything. We've sold a few eggs over time, just to someone
here and there, but
just somebody we know. But really, we really just don't sell anything. Dr. Leo made a really convincing case for the horizontal hive style. Yeah, Jonathan, and I look at this obviously, but differently than she looks at it because I have to build everything. And the polystyrene hives hold up way better, way longer. They're insulated for the winter. The bees seem to like them just fine. That's why I like going to them. They're really no more money than the wood ones. Connie Graves said, I thought when a bee stings, they die. They do.
Mm-hmm.
Putting tobacco on a bee string makes the reaction much less.
Mm.
Study the breed of bees you would like to have. That's good too. What was the type of hive you said that doesn't rot? Yeah, so go to Better Bee. The Better Bee company sells them. They're polystyrene hives, so they're about 1.5 inches thick, kind of a cross between a rubber and styrofoam, basically.
Plastic.
Kind of a plastic styrofoam.
And styrofoam.
But man, we bought one. We called it the Space Hive just to see how well it would go, and it just did so much better than everything else. That's all we use now.
The wood hives, I would put a cozy something on it. It was like a plastic bag. It was like 2 plastic bags filled with some kind of like bedding, and you would slide it down over the hive to keep the colony, maybe it was cozy colony, the colony warmer when we were getting those like polar vortex winds. And the polystyrene hives, we don't have to put anything on them in the wintertime. They stack on top of one another perfectly. They snap together because there's like latches on the outside of them, so you don't have to put a rock on top. They lock together, and there's no gaps in between the boxes, so they don't warp, so you don't have to worry about the wood warping and water coming in. Yeah,
I would definitely recommend them. Hey, David the Good's here. Hey, David, how are you, sir?
Hey.
Debbie said, I also heard that moving bees makes them more susceptible to various issues.
Oh, moving them?
I used to be anxious when the bees were in my garden. I felt threatened. Now I just talk to them and tell them that they have their job and I have mine, and now we do not even mind anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, Bee, she cracks me up when a bee will be out here working on a barn or whatever, and she'll fly by and she'll be like, hi, ladies, checking on me, and that kind of stuff. It's so silly.
Yeah.
David also says, especially with how farms often spray with little care. Yeah, we're on the no spray list here. We try to keep it out of here, but you're 100% right. With that.
Yeah.
Never Alone says that they've been watching PhD Leo.
Yeah, Dr. Leo.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Constantly tell their next generations about their bees. Constantly tell their next generation about their handler. That's interesting. Do you sell any of the honey harvest? Nope, we don't sell anything really. A few eggs once in a blue moon, but we give more honey away than we sell.
We eat it all.
We eat a lot. Yeah. Nurse Wayne, good evening. Yep, you're late to the party, but not too late. You're good. Mandy says, we decided to go with Dr. Leo laying horizontals because of our back and other benefits that we think will work better in our context. Yeah, cool. Jules, thank you. Yeah, so Jules just put the link up there for the Better Bee Company. And if you go in there, like I said, they're not much more expensive than a wood hive, but I prefer them a lot. Yep, happy gardening season to you too, David.
One thing too about the polystyrene hives are they're lighter. So when I'm lifting a wooden box that has deeps full of brood or whatever, they're a lot heavier than the polystyrene hives, even though the polystyrene boxes are thicker. Instead of 3/4 board, they're 1.5 inch, but they are lighter material, so they're a little lighter for me to lift alone.
Rickster wants to know if license boxes are any good.
That's the license are the space hives.
Yeah,
the polystyrene are the license.
Yeah, that's what we use. My daughter and I share our eggs, and extra plant starts with family and friends. With some friends, they like to share food stuff in return. Yeah, me too.
Good.
Pockety says, mead. Treasured Home, you're very welcome. Pack Rat said, good. By the way, good evening, Pack Rat.
Hey, Pack Rat.
Yep. Thanks for all the wonderful emails.
Yes.
I see 3 more videos in your future. Bees are terrible. Bees are great. Bees are meh. Beekeeping 101 courses online. Yeah, there's courses everywhere and often for free. So sweet savory words. Oh gosh, I've been cooking. Well, that's good. Cooking's a good thing. Let me see. It's getting dark in there. Oh, you can turn the light on? How about ready on my flash, you guys? Oops. There we go. Apparently I just whoa, right? Should I deal with a bee association in learning? Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. That Bee went to the Northeast Kansas Beekeepers Association, is where she got her
I'm
first
a
class.
member of the Bee Association. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's another thing too. Like if you join your what is, oh my gosh, your state's Beekeepers Association, then you will likely get magazines or newsletters that again tell you what you should be doing at that point in time throughout the year in your area, so that you can be like, oh, I got to get that inspection done, or oh, I got to get if you're treating for mites or checking for mites, you can keep up to, I always have a schedule to do those things so that it helps.
Skates girl, blinded by the light.
No kidding.
Right. Let me see here. Okay. Yep. Should I? Yeah. Okay. Did that one. I think this is just talking. I have a Langstrom book on beekeeping, intimidating. So much to know about everything.
Langstroth. That's the method that we go through.
Yeah. It's a lot to learn, but at the same time, guys, I think it's a process that you just learn as you go a lot. I mean, you learn.
Do. And there's some things that they'll tell you to do, and you'll go, I am not doing that. Or you'll say, I found that this works better for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Utah is beehive state. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me see here. To everyone. Okay, did that one. Thank you, everyone. Yep, you're very welcome, Never Alone Homestead. Oh, something about, let me see, sausage and cheese, 4 with American cheese and barbecue, and other 4 with syrup and jack cheese and sausage. That all sounds good. Wrapped in biscuit dough.
Biscuit dough.
Okay, what else? What's on your list?
I'm finishing up taxes. Everybody got their taxes done. That's about that time.
Yeah, it's past that time, babe.
Well,
but not for us. Ever. Okay, go ahead.
We can never get out of it. So, finished up the taxes.
Oh, you finished them?
Well, I've got that one stack that I need.
But beyond that, you're done?
Basically.
Okay.
I have to make some copies of some papers, but
okay, what else?
Midwest Preparedness Festival is coming up very, very, very soon. Barter ideas. What are some things that you guys would love to barter for?
Oh, that's a great question. What are people looking for? I always struggle with what to bring for Bartertown, because I think to myself, I spent all this time storing all these things and preparing and doing all of these things. I don't really want to trade anything. If I wanted to trade it, why did I buy it? And then,
well, maybe you didn't buy it. Maybe somebody gifted you something, like a bucket of fish. And you're like, I don't want these bucket of fish right now.
Yeah, I'd be interested. To see. I'll bring something. I don't know what, but
I was thinking, and I don't know if this is a good idea, because
you told me that this is funny.
Because it's going to be a cold thing, but I was thinking of bringing bags of pig fat. Because for like lard, right? So I have lard on the shelf, I have lard in the freezer, I have lard in a pan that I need to put into something else. So, and then I have some in the freezer that I just got, and I have like the next batch, right? So I'm like 4 batches behind on using lard. When I made the last soap, I should have used the lard, and I did not. I used olive oil. So that was my bad. And now that I've made so much soap, I could make more and use more. But again, I still have 3.
You have a whole bunch.
I have, yeah.
Mr. Rain says, you guys pay taxes? I thut we were freemen.
That's the one thing.
I'm not that free.
Can't get rid of.
I haven't figured that one out yet. Big Kid says tool handles. That's a great barter item.
Tool handles.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm hoping someday to barter with some local fishermen with my homemade wine. Yeah, homemade wine would be a great barter item. Yeah, we can't raise pigs. I would barter for pigs. Yep. And and I know a couple people who are going to be out there who raise pigs. Good idea, B. Lard is great for baking and tamales. Yep. I would like to barter for a new body. Mine's worn out. Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I think barter items would be more in line with handmade crafts like quilts, baskets, smoking racks. Yeah, we pay taxes so we can stay free. Seems like an oxymoron. It is an oxymoron.
Oh man, doesn't that? Yeah.
Skane's girl says, which kind of lard?
Pig.
Pig. Richard, don't buy Chinese model. They break. They break every year. I'm assuming. Let me see. Is too much not enough? Yeah. Well, problem is we go through and we butcher a pig and a cow every year. And it just mounts up.
And then a pig, and then a pig, and then a pig, and then a. And the amount that you get from one pig is so much that there's just, you eat it, then you make lotions, then you make soaps, then you make,
Yeah.
And at some point in time, there's just a lot more than you need.
Yep. Raven Nest says, I have jars full of bacon drippings.
Yep.
I save in special refrigerator. It can be used to season food, keep your iron in good shape, and use as oil for light. Yep. I put together a few things. I have plenty of extras in my totes of medical supplies for Bartertown. Yeah. You can barter with any homemade good or service. Yep. We paid way less under King George. Isn't that crazy, David the Good?
Oh.
We absolutely paid. That's actually a great t-shirt. Just that says just that. We paid less under King George.
Ouch.
I like that. Sorry, guys. I got to write that down.
Ouch.
True.
David.
He's right. He's 100% right. 100% right. Let me see. Where am I at here? I would say my only barter would be seeds. Yeah, that's a good barter item. I think seeds she meant leaf lard, or they're different. Let me see. Or what there are different pig lard.
So the isn't the leaf lard just the fat right around the belly? Or right around the leaf lard is usually like white, and there's no gunk in it. Sometimes there's like.
Yoda said she'd help you with your lard.
To barter.
No, I think what she means is she'd help you render it down. Yeah. I'm cul-de-sac. Good evening to you. I'm sorry it's been a tough week. Yeah, we need to send prayers your way. Let me see here.
I hope you're making it next weekend.
Yep. I just made cornbread with bacon drippings. Delicious. Yep. And we keep saying, yep, you have my permission to make a shirt. I've been thinking on that for a long time. Yeah. I mean, I think what a great shirt that would be. And David the Good, that would match your channel really, really well. It'd go right with your, compost your enemies t-shirt. So, which I love, by the way, one of the greatest t-shirts of all time. But yeah, I just think that's just, I think what makes that we paid less under King George, it's just so profound.
Yes.
Right. You see it and you'll be like, oh shit, that's like totally true.
Yeah. That's when
yeah.
I went, oh.
Yep. Our baked goods welcome in Bartertown. Everything's welcome in Bartertown.
Yeah, there's no not.
And you know what's funny, guys? I'll tell you something about Bartertown. I've done, this will be the 20th one we've done. I've been to the first 19. And all 19 of them had Bartertown. And you just never know. I mean, there's some years where if you show up with a whole bunch of, let's say, blackberry starts, you will be gone. You will trade every one of them. And then the next year you'll show up with a whole bunch of blackberry starts and you'll have a hard time bartering them. It's just weird. It depends on who's needing what, and you just don't know. But I'm super excited for Bartertown, and I'll bring something. So yes, bring baked goods.
Yes, stuff you've made, stuff you haven't made, you've bought, everything is accepted.
Yeah. Yoda says, B's my sister from another mister. Yeah. Let me see. If it please the crown, might we retain the efforts of our labors to feed, clothe, and house ourselves? Yeah. Those with bees could bring honey or clean wax. Others could bring extra copies or reference books. Yeah, I think books is a good one too. Yeah. Oh, I bet I'm way behind, huh? Maybe not.
Oh.
There's a book that tells you how to legally not have to pay taxes. The book is banned for sale in America. You can order it from Canada. Sorry, I don't remember the title. Yeah, Rickster, I've actually done plenty of research on this issue. And if I can figure out how to do it legally, and well, we talk about legally. What is legally, right? Because it's already unconstitutional to pay the taxes we're paying. So, but we go along with it, right? So if I make any ground, I'll promise I will share with everybody. Speaking of taxes, you have to pay taxes fee to go to church in Germany, so people aren't going to church because of it. Yeah, this is in Treasure Home. This is a super interesting point. There's been some talk inside the community about doing a private, Sunday church service on properties, kind of like the Amish do. You know how the Amish go to each other's houses and work their way around, and completely getting rid of the church, which I personally think would be a great idea, because I would tell you that modern day churches are as corrupt as the justice system, which is corrupt as the education system, which is corrupt as the medical system, which is corrupt as the finance system, which is corrupt as the, military industrial complex. So just my own personal thought, but David, okay, sorry. I've got a fig tree cuttings growing to barter with. Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bee's got 2 fig trees in the living room.
And they are budding like crazy.
There are certain things that are hard to acquire for some, but are within bounds of legality. Yet buying and selling things that have no price is a fine tradition. Amen. We also put up with more restrictions now than we did with King George. We do. Way more. Would they say that the American Revolution was fought? They talk about taxation without representation, and at that time the taxation was 4%.
Yeah.
And yet the average American today pays 59% of their income in taxes.
It's a little more than 4.
59, if you count all the taxes up. Rick wants to thank everyone who prayed for him. Yeah. Yes, it's already illegal that we are being forced to pay, but trying to figure out how to get out of doing it without getting your butt tossed in jail. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Treasure Home said, yes, I've heard of that tag. Yeah. I have a giant bucket of lard that's been on my counter since November. I didn't know. Oops. You have to refrigerate it. I just don't use it. How do you know if it's still good?
You don't have to refrigerate it. If it's good, you'll know by the smell.
Right. If it smells rancid.
If it's rancid, it will tell you.
Yoda says ammo for honey. Okay. I'll do that. Ammo for honey.
You're trading her ammo?
No, we're going to trade her honey for ammo.
We don't have honey to trade.
We have honey. You just don't want to trade it.
We have minimal honey.
We have minimal ammo.
We do not have minimal ammo. I just brought you 6 jugs of ammo.
And the rest of you, not just your butt, Mrs. Raden. We think the last frost killed our fig tree. That is probably 25 years old. Oh, that's horrible. My husband's bartered this week for landscaping the neighbor's yard because they want grass. We got all their plants and paver bricks in return, about 50 plants, great pollinators. Oh, love that deal.
Wow.
Think about this. Every 5 to 20 times a dollar changes hands, the government makes $1. Oh, it's worse than that, big kid. Every 3 or 4 transactions, the government gets 100% of the dollar back. Right? I mean, think about it. They tax you at 59%. Right. Then the rest of the money goes to the plumber, which then they tax him at 59%. And then what's left goes to the electrician, and they tax him at 59%. There's no money left. The person who wrote the book banned from publication in the United States government was Libertarian Irwin Schiff. Has a Wikipedia article, and it was called The Federal Mafia. Yeah. Any price yet on wild huckleberry? No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bonnie says she agrees with me about corruption. Yeah, I think it's just so infiltrated, and it's not a negative on churches. I think it's absolutely just been so infiltrated our education system. I mean, go to any kindergarten, right? Why do they have the kids sit in a straight row? Why do they have bells that go off at the same time? Why do they? I mean, it's this huge mass propaganda thing, and we just need to do it, for ourselves. The saddest thing I've heard in a while, Tag, sounds like you've had a bad experience. I'm sorry. Oh, man, I wanted that comment. Let me go back. The saddest thing I've heard in a while, Tag, sounds like you had a bad experience with the church. My church has been an inspiration. Nurse Wang, I'm going to tell you something, guys, and everyone who's listening, I mean this. There are some great churches out there. But there's some great politicians out there. There's some great people who are in the military. There's some great police officers out there, right? There's some really great teachers out there, right? I know some great nurses in the medical system, but it doesn't change the fact that the churches, and I don't think this is just a matter of my opinion, that the churches have been infiltrated by all of this as well. Not all of them, but a big handful of them. You know, there was a bunch of Methodist churches, which were the biggest donors in Waco, Texas, to the trans rally that went on down there. Remember that Tractor Supply got in all kinds of trouble? Their 5 biggest donors were churches. So I have had bad experiences with churches, but I've also had good experiences with churches, Nurse Wang. So there's some good ones out there. And just like there's good of everything, but I promise you, they've been infiltrated. Raven's Nest says the churches have gotten so far from what the Bible teaches. We study at home and honor God there. Yeah, my nose doesn't work so good ever since having the seasickness last year. Yeah. Is there such a thing as too much honey and ammo? No, no such thing on either, right? Starla says, what night is Bartering? It's Saturday night every single time. So Saturday, there'll be a bunch of classes during the day. Then there'll be a potluck and we'll all eat. Then they'll do all the giveaways and then we'll do Bartertown. I plan to bring cards to barter my service organizations and business services. Yeah, that's a great deal. Nice. Yep. I got my hands a hold of a whole bunch of surplus military stuff. So I may bring a bunch of it to barter. We'll see. Oh, yes. Don't forget you are supposed to report your bartering on your taxes.
No. Oh, I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's an even better answer. Hey, Country for Shore. Good evening to you. Oh, I'm so far behind, baby. I just don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah.
My daughter has his own business with employees, and it's absolutely insane the amount of taxes she ends up paying. Guys, it's if I got me and B one year decided we were going to track every tax we paid all year long, and for us it was over 60%. I'm talking about personal property tax, income tax, sales tax, right? But it's not just that, right? It's anything that's mandated to you as a tax. And now, because of the inflation, you got to count that as a tax too. So it's even grown the number that much more. Yeah. Jonah Jones says, cut the fig tree off of the ground. It'll grow back.
The fig tree?
Yep. Cheryl Seller says, yay, I made it live. Well, we are super happy you're here. Yep. I made it too. I wasn't late, but B actually wasn't late either.
Never.
Yeah. Yoda's saying no. I don't know what she's saying no to though. Barter dehydrated mushrooms. Actually, you know what? Today would be, or tomorrow morning would be a great day to go pick morels.
Tomorrow? No.
Just
after a freeze?
Oh, it's going to freeze. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yesterday was a good day to pick morels.
Yeah. I believe Aaron Schiff also wrote the book, The Law That Never Was. The 16th Amendment was never ratified. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Try not to blow by it. Totally agree with you about the church stuff, says Mandy. So many churches have been taken over by false prophets. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And not all of them. I'm telling you, there's going to be a bunch of great churches out there, but there's a whole bunch that are corrupt. Bartertown sounds like so much fun. It is so much fun. Yeah. Really. That's my favorite part.
How many of you are going to the Midwest Preparedness Festival?
Yeah, I'd love to see a count too.
A hands up.
I think I mutilated my taste buds, said Sweet Savory Words. Yeah. Do seeds go good at Bartertown? Starlight, just depends.
Yes.
Well, it depends.
Oh, there's a seed exchange, I think. Isn't there a seed exchange?
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen. There usually is.
Rickster says, anybody need any 38 Smith & Wesson ammo? I don't even own a 38. I'm back at the beginning because I came in an hour or so late. Well, I am of me. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. You were so right about the institution of churches. Most sell goods to the members and advertise. I agree. I absolutely agree. Tag, I will say as a believer, you are right about the church. When churches are pushing any other agenda than that of gospel, the word for that is apostate, and they will be held accountable. They will be held accountable. In fact, right, I struggle with my faith, but I don't struggle with that at all. They will absolutely be held accountable. And I think that if you do wrong, it's coming for you, one way or the other. I got into a conversation with someone about they want me to come help them to be more involved in some festivals. And I told them that, as long as what the agenda is spreading freedom, and as long as what the agenda is building community, I will help. I will spend my resources. I will be involved. But if it ever becomes about making money, there's nothing wrong with making money. When I'm talking about where the mission is something other than spreading freedom, then I won't want anything to do with it after that. Now, if you can spread freedom, pure, I'm fine with it. And so I think this relates to the church, right? As long as the church is about, just the love of Christ, right? And your relationship with him, I think it's fine. But when it becomes about, we need a new church and, if you don't do this, God's going to hate you and all of this stuff, I think you got a big problem. Mr. Rain says sovereign citizen. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff about that. I've seen a lot of holes in that though. Mm-hmm. We have cut our fig tree to the ground a couple times. It does grow back. Okay, I'm going to try to go slow here. Okay, wait. Okay.
Who is going to be
Pack
there?
Rat, by the way, I appreciated your comment and I really appreciated your emails.
So Eagle Lover.
Yep, there's one step closer will be there. Not looking forward to running around covering up all the things tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, because it's going to freeze.
Tonight, though.
Yep, Jules will be there. Gypsy will be there. ACM will be there. Eagle Love will be there. Pat will be there. My honey and my baby boy will be there. Yep, LJC. Yep. Eagle Lover, send me a message on freesteading. We can work something out for sure. Yep, Bird's Eye View will be there. Cul-de-sac. Every time you say freedom, you buffer like Max Headroom.
Headroom.
Yeah, remember Max Headroom?
Yeah.
Freedom. Jesus jumped in there with a source of cords and overturned the money changing tables. They turned our father's house into the den of thieves and merchandise. Oh, I forgot about that. What a great example. Sweets every words. Churches have become about bodies, backs, and buildings. Yeah, money's a false idol. Communities could create their own currency. They could. We've actually talked about minting some coins here, just really more for fun than anything.
Yeah.
But, bucks. Yeah.
Bodies, bucks, and buildings.
Yeah. What did I say?
Bucks. No, that's right.
Bucks. I said bucks, right? I think. Anyway, I have no idea. All right, what else you got?
Bodies, bucks, and buildings.
Well, I'm caught up. How cool is that?
What was the King George?
We pay less under King George. And I'm totally going to make that.
Bodies, bucks, and buildings.
Yeah. David the Good, I'll totally credit you though, bud. I'll tell him where it come from. But that is a great t-shirt.
That's it.
That's it on your front.
Bartering ideas.
Yeah. Well, I've got all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh my gosh, have you even started your list? We're going to be here forever. You got 4 pages?
No, we don't need to get to all of them. Right? Let me see here. Money we use, it's the love of money.
The love of money.
Yeah, it's not money, right? Good. It's a great point. I wish there was a meetups or homestead festivals in Louisiana. Never are here. I am not able to travel at all. Yeah, I wish you could get to them. They're so much fun just to hang out with everybody. I'll tell you guys, for me, and I've said this before, but this festival means a lot to me. One, I'm the original guy. So when it started all those years ago, me and one other guy who will be there were the only 2 left from the original group that when it all started. The other second thing is, for me, it's awesome because I really don't play an active role in it that much anymore. I mean, I consult if they need it, right? But I don't really play that. So really, I get to sit in a lawn chair and I get to chill out and I get to hang out with everybody and I get to chit chat. Like, I don't have any stress on me, which I'm super, super excited about. Not supposed to make merchandise of God's people. Yeah. Hey, Nicole, how are you? I thought I had typed in backs instead of bucks. Haha. Yeah. Oh boy, do all 4 pages. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll do my best.
What did Packrat says at Sweet Savory Words when people ask what would Jesus do?
They should keep in mind that flipping tables and whipping everyone in sight was an option. Yeah. That actually wouldn't make no words, just a picture of Jesus with a whip flipping a table over on the back of a t-shirt would be a good one too. Right? Make a huge point, right?
Wonder how many people would get it.
Yeah, when I was on Israeli News Live the other day, we were talking about that. And I said, I told him, I said, I always found it interesting that Jesus liked to, hang out with all the rejects. And I don't mean rejects disrespectfully. I would be considered a reject, right? In a lot of ways. They didn't really hang out in the churches all that much. He didn't do that, that his crowd was the unwanted, the ungovernable. His crowd was the
lepers,
and the district, all of that. And I always loved that. I always loved that about that part of the story.
The sick and weary.
What homesteading events are coming up? Well, Nicole, on actually a week away is the Midwest Preparedness Project, and you can find it on Facebook, MeWe, or on Freesteading. All the details will be there. What I know as far as what's coming up in July, the Anyone Can Farm experience in Michigan is going on. There's one coming up here in Oklahoma, I believe. Yoda, can you post that? Because I know you were talking about the one in Oklahoma. I don't plan on going.
I thought
but
it was one in Tennessee.
Tennessee's in October, and then Midwest will be again in October. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jules. There's a link right down there to the Midwest Preparedness Project. Mr. Rain said, "Yep, Jesus had a temper." Well, wouldn't you? I mean, if you were Jesus, and how stupid people can be, I'd be. I think it'd be easy, you know. You see, Raven Nest says, "B, that's the problem. Too many don't read the word to know what it says." Yeah.
To know that he had a temper to go into the temples to flip the tables.
And if you ever watched The Chosen, I think you might like it, especially season 1. It doesn't ring a bell to me.
I'll write it down though.
Self-Reliance Festival in October with Joel Salatin. Yep. Jesus did hang out with the tax collectors. Really, I never read that. What is the name of the festival in Tennessee in October? It's called the Self-Reliance Festival, and I think.
Is that Nicole Sauce?
Yep, that would be yep. Living Free in Tennessee and Special Operations Equipment will be the people who will put it on. I can make the one in Tennessee in October. I don't know if I'll be there or not. And they've asked me to speak at the last 2.
Are they doing 2 a year?
2 a year.
2,
yep.
3?
Yep.
2.
Dorothy says, "You two make everyone feel welcome. That's what Jesus did." Yes, isn't that the easy part?
You are all welcome.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, just don't be a dick, right? I mean, it's not complicated. Well, seriously, it's just not complicated.
Did you mean to say that word?
Yes, I meant to say that word. Babe, it's, I've had this idea. I don't know if you guys, I'd actually love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, but I've been talking to B about it. But I want to reach out on Facebook and find a transvestite, find a gay person, find an African-American, find a liberal, find a super right-wing, and sit and talk about everything we can agree upon.
And then what you cannot agree upon? Are you looking for fights?
No. I'm not looking for fights. I'm looking for something. I'm looking to have a conversation about not being divided. All of these things that they divide us up on, that there's so many things we can agree upon, that it would just be amazing to me if we could sit down and agree, you know?
And if you cannot?
Well, I think we can, though. That's the thing.
You think you can make them see it from your side? That's what agreeing is.
No, what I think
or you're going to agree with them.
I think if you ask the majority of any of those people that I just mentioned, it's not what is portrayed on TV. It is not what's portrayed in the news. Most of those people, I would imagine, want to just live their life and be left alone. No different than what I want to live my life and be left alone. I just think there's so much more that would unite us than what divides us. And I think it would be an interesting conversation. Let me see here. You want to find common ground. Yes, I do want to find common ground. Let me see here. We all need air, water, and food. Amen. Jesus flipped the tables because people were being cheated and paying a much higher price for what they were buying. This is why Jesus say, "You turned my house into a den of thieves." Too many people forgot how to just agree to disagree and move forward. See, I think that I kind of agree with that too. It would just be an interesting conversation. I believe what I believe, but that doesn't mean that I have to dislike somebody because we disagree, right? And I think that we were purposely being divided when I would bet you any one of those people that I just mentioned, I'll bet you we have more in common than we have apart. I think the average when we love our families. We want, to be free. We want to be able to live life the way we want to live our life. We don't want, to be preyed upon by our government and by rules or by other people. I think there's just so much that we could learn from each other if we would stop being divided and quit buying into the political, psychological games that they play on us. Anyway, I know I'm crazy. America wasn't so divided until the last couple of years. It's been divided for a while, but it is definitely worse now than ever. Let me see here. Respect is the glue that holds us together. Amen. Single white male seeking GM, TS, BM, and MM for cordial conversation. I'm like, I was trying to follow you, Skanes girl. I get it. Spirko talked about the unity of community we must walk forward with. It doesn't matter what color their hair is or how they vote or where they don't go to church. See, I think I agree with all this. And here's the other thing. What a great way to pass on, teachings of whatever it is you believe than to welcome different communities. Instead of me telling them they're wrong and telling them they're stupid, what if I just say, hey, brother, it's cool. We can be friends. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you say I don't agree with what you're doing yourself, you're telling them they're wrong.
No, see, I don't think so. I think that I can say, look, for me, I wouldn't choose that.
Well, for
it's
me,
not okay
I
for
wouldn't
me.
Go to church. Right?
That's fine. I think we include an atheist.
And then somebody would.
Fine.
Well, like to go into a church.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody who will argue with why you can't be a good Christian unless you go into a church.
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner would be a great guest, says Yoda. Yeah, I don't think that Caitlyn Jenner would be willing to do it, but I would be open to it.
I think she threatened violence when she didn't get her way.
Yeah, Milk and Honey Heritage Farm says if they come into the conversation knowing it was just to find common ground and unite, I think we can be fine. I think it would be a fine conversation. And I really think that you say, hey, look, I want to point out what makes us different. I want to say, hey, I'm Tag and I'm a redneck from Kansas. But I also want to say that just because you and I are different, it's okay. I don't have to hate. I don't have to disagree. I don't have to do any of those things. We can, and even if we disagree, we can agree to disagree and still be friends. I got in a disagreement with Hitch from across the street the other day. We totally disagree on a point. It's fine. I'm not going to spend a second worrying about it. It's fine. Live your life. It's cool. I still disagree, and I disagree right now. You know what I mean? Anyway, if everyone had the same life, it'd be pretty boring. Yep. I really felt this week is a mess, and my parents were dangerously close to a road raid killing the other. Everything is so crazy.
At the moment.
Yeah. We are different, but we are free people. We are allowed that differences. A spiritual discussion is different than a homesteading discussion or a permaculture discussion. Yes. 100%. Yep.
So that would be a spiritual discussion if you had.
Well, I don't. What I really want,
if you had instead of a homesteading or a permaculture.
What I really want to have the conversation about is, can we agree that there's so much that unites us? Because guys, I'm going to tell you something. The powers that be, the one thing they fear the most is unity. The one thing they fear the most is we quit looking at each other because of the color of our skin or because of what we do behind a closed door or because of how we worship or because of whatever it is. And we unite because we are, of flesh, and we unite, because we're tired of people taking advantage of us, preying on us and keeping us separated. And I would love to have the conversation. I would. Anyway, where two or three are gathered together, Jesus said he is in the midst of you. Doesn't have to be a large crowd. Yeah. You can love a person and not love what they do. Yep. I have people in my life, Skins Girl,
right.
who this would absolutely be true for.
Right.
Question outside of common faith. How far can agreement truly go? What would be the logical end of an agreement outside of faith? If a huge event type thing happened, like the fall of a country, well, I think you'd unite because you're hungry.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I think it really is. I think it really is that. I don't say that's simple because that's probably not fair. You want to be able to sleep at night. You need, many hands make light work. There's a lot of those kinds of things. What is your end goal to that universally? I think my end goal was to get
unity,
a whole bunch of very different people together that at the end agree we're one people. And agree that, we don't like what's going on in the world and we need to stop being divided. And I think that they would put it on their channels, whatever their channels were. I'd put it on mine and I'd probably get a whole bunch of hate, but that's okay. You'll have to vet people that are not so brittle. Agreed, 100% background. And I would go through a lengthy process to make sure I got the right people in there. I understand they were also charging prices that the poor could not afford for the sacrifices needed. This is from a Jewish perspective. Way more unites us than separates us. See, one step closer, this is what I think. Truth is truth, and the truth shall set you free. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people take years to find the truth, Miley.
Yes.
And everyone's at a different place in their journey. And what I can do is I can tell them they're wrong, or I can show them, right? Or I can lead through that, you know? And I think there's a lot of ways to go about doing that. I think he would. Caitlin has been going on conservative radio shows defending female sports. Yeah, he might. See, I agree. Good night, everyone. Hey, one step closer. Good night, bud. I tell everyone, if you want me to respect your opinion, then you better respect mine too. I have not found anyone yet to disagree. I think it's simple. I agree. It has to be good faith discussion, and there are people of all stripes that are aching for an end to sorry, it's moving. Divisiveness. Fractionating the populace benefits those who would destroy us. See, this I agree with. And this is exactly my point. Okay. Can someone explain the blanket challenge at Midwest Steel? Yeah, Starless. What happens is basically, now I'm going to make this very, very simple explanation, because they'll have all kinds of twists to it. Basically, they put a bunch of blankets on the ground. They get all the kids and put all the kids on a blanket, on separate blankets. And the last one on a blanket gets $20 or $50.
The last kid to leave the blanket wins.
Yeah.
It's the blanket challenge. It's a kid's game to keep the kids on their blanket.
Yeah, and it's really to keep them calm and give everybody a break from all the running around, because there's kids everywhere.
Occupied for several hours.
Make sure no activist. Yep, Gypsy. I just want someone who's confident in their beliefs, but who are just willing to listen and have the conversation. But isn't respect eroded? That is what I have been always told. Respect's been eroded, but I think what you see on TV and what we see in the news is not the truth.
You think it's an exaggeration?
It's a huge exaggeration. Let's give you an example. Let's talk about racism. I live in redneck country, right? I mean, I live around nothing but agriculture, nothing but rednecks in big trucks with shotguns in the back window, right? And I don't know a single racist. Not one. I don't know a single person that hates somebody just because of the race that they are. I just don't. But yet they talk about racism is so prevalent. I'm not suggesting that racism doesn't exist. What I'm suggesting is it is not what they say it is. Most people's hearts aren't full of hate.
I knew somebody who was full of hate. Right?
Well, there are people who are out there. No arguments. And I'm not suggesting that there isn't, babe. What I'm telling you is it's not what they tell us on TV. It isn't as big an issue as they make it out to be.
I know one person that's like that.
Yeah, I just don't.
And I haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah, I just don't. So I think we have to be careful buying into the narrative that the mainstream media gives us, because that narrative of the white guys hate the black guys and the black guys hate the Asian guys, or whatever it is bullshit. It just really doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but it is not what they make it out to be.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
I don't see that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I just don't. And so anyway, I just think there's way more that's going to connect us than it's going to divide us. I don't think people are full of hate like people say they are. And I don't live those lives, so we're going to find out, right?
You don't know anybody that's full of hate?
I don't know anybody that's full of hate because of the color of somebody's skin.
You don't know anybody who hates anybody because of the color of their skin?
I can't think of a single person. I know people who are hateful all the time to everybody.
I know those people.
But what I'm talking about is, the definition of that. I just don't know anybody. So anyway, let me see. We are in, okay, no, God never said respect each other. He said love one another. Yep, I agree. I love the people of this country. Yep. Yeah, I think generally there are so many more good people than there are bad people. It's just what you see on the news and the TV is just all the bad, 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 all the bad.
There is a lot of bad.
But babe, here's the thing. It's just like, I could give you millions of examples of
There's a lot of good too.
There's 10 times, 100 times good than what there is bad.
And there's a lot of bad.
All you get is the bad, you know? Let me see here. Towards Joy, I agree. I was raised in Alaska and move a lot of states. It's crazy. Yeah. Let me see. Bad sales. That's right. Grateful Hearts Ranch. I think that's a great way to say that, right? Sex sales, violent sales, you know, all those things, right? Yeah. Programming, 100% programming. If you are visibly successful at bringing people together, it will become a big target for those who wish to prove folks cannot come together to agree. Agitators, insurrectionists, and various stripes. I agree with this, Pack Rat, actually. And I've thought about this topic a whole lot. You know, a lot of times, a lot of my videos get kind of to the point where they really don't want that message of freedom getting out. But here's the thing. I think my life on YouTube's at a fixed deal anyway. I mean, I think there's going to come a time where they don't want anybody who talks about it. So it doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I think if I could show that there is unity, even though we have fundamental disagreements on other fronts, I think it's a great thing. You know, The Chosen has an app where you can watch it. Yeah, we're going to watch it. B wrote it down. Respect is a trait of love.
They have an app? Wow.
I have seen it. I did home health for years, and some of the sweetest little grannies would spew hate for others. Sad.
Yeah.
Skanes Girl, right. I guarantee you there's people out there like that. My point is, it is not like what you see on TV. There's not that much divide. There just isn't. You know, they want you to feel like it because that's why they keep talking about it, right? I think it misunderstanding and or following someone else's opinion without doing their own research.
Mm-hmm.
A house divided cannot stand. Jesus Christ and Abraham Lincoln. Yep. Okay. What else you got? I want to get off this topic.
My list is done. You're the one with 4 pages worth of stuff that you did not start talking about.
Okay. So I found some really interesting statistics this week. I don't know. I just thought I'd share with you guys. So see what you guys think about some of these. So since the year 2000, they say the population has gone up 1.8% in our country.
2000.
Yes, since the year 2000. So what do you think of that number? 1.8%.
1.8.
That's pretty small growth, actually.
Okay.
Okay, but our population, you know, curves kind of going on the other side.
Well, yeah. What's the death rate?
I don't know. I didn't put that one in there. But what I found out was interesting about the 1.8 population growth is the federal budget's up 55%. So the population has grown 1.8% at the same time the federal budget to run the government has gone up 55%. And that's prior to the proposed $4.7 trillion in new taxes they're proposing now.
Wow.
I think that's interesting. And
they have to pay for those programs.
Apparently. Right? I thought that was pretty crazy. I also found something else that's pretty interesting. So I was doing some.
Wonder if this too is our birth rate or our incoming.
I think it's birth.
Because if it's growing, how are we growing? Is it?
Well, you're actually not at 1.8%.
Well, that's what it depends on what the death rate is.
Yeah.
Because you're either growing or you're dying.
Or you're dying, right? Yeah. What do you think about home buyers being penalized for having good credit? Yeah, I've been penalized. Well, I think you got to establish what good credit is. First of all, Nicole, this is a great topic right here. You're going to get me totally ranting. So, what does good credit mean? You're talking about Equifax and, you know, the credit companies giving you some score based upon how well you hold debt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that what you're talking about as far as good credit?
That's a credit score, right?
Yeah. And if you have good credit, they think you don't need their help. Right. And so that's another way that you get penalized. But I think it's actually a crock that we're judged at what quality of
debt,
you know, citizen we are by how well we carry debt. You know, so, but yeah, I think that you get penalized a lot on that. There's so much going on. Credit scores. I have a debt score. It is. And actually, you know, because we don't have any debt, I have to really work hard on keeping something kind of going out there a little bit because I'll get hammered because I have no debt, you know?
Yeah. Miley just said, is food cost still going up? Yes.
Yes. Food. Yes, it is. Every time we go to the store, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh, what was it that I just bought? Oh, tortillas. one package of tortillas. I used to at Sam's Club, I could buy a double pack of tortillas for $2.98, like under $3 for a double pack of tortillas. And at Walmart, I tried to make burritos.
Why don't you just make your own tortillas?
Because I didn't. And
How'd that go?
Oh, well, I was like $3. I could just run to the store and grab some tortillas. But so for a single pack, which has 18 tortillas in it, $7.
Yep.
For 18 tortillas.
Yep.
When you used to be able to get like a 30 pack.
Maybe you should start making them.
$3. Sheesh. Yes, the price of food is going up in our area.
Yeah, Faith says, don't get me started. Hubby and I were driving, looking at land, and then came home to find out about the paying more if you have a better score to pay for others who don't, which is ridiculous. This is the student loan debate, right? Let's use taxpayer dollars to pay off all the student loans, even though when you took student loans off, you paid yours off.
Well, yeah, I didn't have a choice. Well, you paid mine off.
Well, that kind of was part of the package, right?
Yeah.
You winked at me, blew me a kiss, and I just handed over my checkbook.
And you were like, here you go. Can I get a massage?
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
There wasn't much left when you got a hold of it.
No, 30,000?
30,000.
That's what was left.
No, that was like a car.
Have you bought a car lately? You can barely touch them for that.
Oh, well, it was 2001.
Yeah, you don't get out much. Treasure Home says it's getting late. I need to go. Thanks for the fellowship. Yep. Good night to you. I don't even know where I'm at here. B, I'd cost a lot less if you'd make them. Thank you, Jules.
Yeah.
Someone's sticking up for me. Yeah, this is a new. Let me see. I'm sorry. Wait a second. Sweet Savvy Words. Oh shoot! You have heard that homeowners are going to have to help pay for low income persons to get in house. No, I heard they were talking about it. I didn't know they did it. And then if they fail or shut the door problem, yeah, this is I'm telling you, there are more taxes, more taxes. This is why it's important to limit the amount of fronts we fight them on, right? No, this is a new home thing. No, this is on. Yep. Let me see. College entrance exam. Explain the difference between a loan and a grant. Right. No doubt. Going back to the pioneer days, the homesteading is the only way to avoid all those upcoming taxes. Yep. That's income poor and asset rich, I think is the answer. If it's a loan, you have to pay it back. Yep. What was dessert today, Tag? Girl Scout cookies.
You got a Girl Scout cookie.
I got a Girl Scout cookie.
You got two. You lucky fella.
Yeah, I know, right? So here, take guys another interesting thing that I found out. So most of you guys will know what a Form 4473 is, right? That's the form that you fill out when you buy a gun.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it's called. But anyway, I was noticed that in there's a question that asks if you're a user of marijuana or any kind of illegal drug, right? Okay. Not even illegal, just are you a user of any of those drugs to include marijuana. Anyway, the penalty, if you click no and purchase a gun and then later are caught smoking a joint, for example, okay, the penalty is 5 to 10 years in prison.
Wow.
Oh, wait, it gets worse. Last month, behind the scenes, they increased it to a mandatory 15-year sentence.
Mandatory.
So what I think is so interesting about this is what a great way to get rid of the guns, right?
Oh, and then they're legalizing that in all kinds of states.
See that? There you go. I just think them going from 5 to 10 to a mandatory 15 is interesting. But what I really want to know is why are they not arresting Hunter Biden? Because Hunter Biden got busted smoking crack and had a gun. It wasn't weed. It was crack.
Yeah, but crack is like a different level, right?
Maybe
that's considered like not 4473. Maybe that's a Form 4440.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, crack is worse. Awful. Thank you, Rain Country. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Another thing that was interesting that I found, the Fed chair was talking, and they were talking about raising interest rates. By the way, they're raising the interest rates again today.
On
the Fed's raised the rates.
Lovely.
So again, another 25 basis points today, which they've been raising them. And I'm actually expecting them to start cutting them at some point. But anyway, they raised them again today. But it was interesting because he said that one of the measurements, what was it? They needed to raise them in an effort to cool the economy because inflation's gotten out of control, right? And one of the measurements is to increase unemployment. Isn't that crazy?
How does that work?
What do you mean? How does it work? You raise interest rates, which means a company's access to borrow money goes down because it costs more money, which typically you'll lay people off, right? In them, and that unemployment is one of the mechanisms to cooling the economy and fighting inflation.
And that seems like it's going to help.
Yeah, page 1. I love you, baby.
That doesn't seem right. That seems backwards.
Mr. Rain says, let's see, I don't even know where I'm at, guys. Okay. That is not okay. Guess you'll need to pay cash or partner with someone else to pay cash. Yeah. Ban on marijuana users owning guns is unconstitutional, the U.S. judge rules. Yeah, I wonder how high of a judge, and I wonder if this will come out. It will get more people with weed. Yeah. Towards joy and freedom. Just curious, hope for the best with all the craziness going on the West Side. I certainly don't blame you. Yeah. February 4th, Reuters, a federal law prohibiting marijuana users from possessing firearms is unconstitutional. A federal judge in Oklahoma has concluded. Yeah, I wonder how far that will go up. RN, good night. I'll have a blessed week. Yep, good night. My cat is watching the live. Good. Meow. If people can't afford goods, the price will go down. Maybe. If they let it. I get migraines from the smoke and plants, so I have to be careful when going to events that people are using it. You know, as long as people are cool about it, they don't bother me a bit. Just do you. Just it's not for me, but it's cool.
If she gets migraine, so if she's at a spot that they're using it, then she'll end up with a migraine, even if they're the ones that are using it.
Cul-de-sac says, I could not believe how hard the local news promoted yesterday's 420 festival. Crazy.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about it.
If a person is debt-free, says One More Rock.
There was a festival?
Apparently. And you have to leave the farm to know what happens, just so you know.
I got an oil change a couple of days ago.
And was that 2001 too?
It was 2021.
If a person is debt-free and a property owner, if they just keep raising property tax, eventually they'll acquire massive amounts of property. 100% true. It's actually one of the things that I worry about the most because I haven't figured out any way One More Rock can deal with it, other than to make sure I'm not paying anything else. You know, no electric bill, no water bill, no nothing, so that as the taxes continue to rise, I have a better chance of keeping up with it. I know, isn't that horrible?
It's not awful.
But I think about that.
I have to have a good job so I can pay my taxes.
Yep. Let me see. Bates is talking to them. However, if you switch to fentanyl, you can have a tank parked in your driveway. Right.
A tank of what?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl is like...
horrible stuff.
That's the
grow raise as much as you can, and you won't have to go to the grocery store, except now and then. Shocked at Lowe's charge $5 for a vegetable.
For a plant?
Yeah, we just collect our own seeds. Bee's quite the seed collector, and she has an amazing collection. So. And
then trades these with other people.
Yep, massive land grabs. All right, what else did I find out here? Oh, I found it interesting that Turkey threatened Greece. So those are two NATO countries. You can kind of see NATO fighting with each other, right? So France made some oil deals with Russia. Turkey was threatening Greece, which I found was super interesting.
With war?
Yeah, saying that, let me see, was threatening because apparently Greece wanted to buy some more arms from the United States, and Greece was threatening them, telling them to not do that. Because they're neighbors. This is something I found interesting too, and I don't know how much it matters, but you know how so Taiwan has been preparing for war with China now for like 75 years, right? This conflict's been going on forever, and they've actually got a pretty good military. And Ukraine had only been preparing for 8 months, but Taiwan has money and the Ukraine does not, and it sure appears to me that Ukraine is kicking Russia's butt to some degree. Maxine Joyce from Scotland. Hey, Scotland. That's pretty cool. No, a military tank. Oh, okay. Anyway, I found that super interesting. Let me see. I heard that the Bank of Canada, and for you Canadians, any Canadians in here, tell me if this is true. So I heard a rumor that the Bank of Canada is now saying that it's going to need a taxpayer bailout or it won't survive. Did you guys hear that? Or that was just me? Do you know there was 14 new pharmaceutical billionaires created during COVID? I don't think B likes my little facts that I find through the week.
No, because it's all like more ways to stick it.
Let me see. The electric company put a new meter at my place yesterday. Hadn't been replaced since 2005. They have us trapped in a maze. Land tax is the only thing that we worry about being able to do. Yeah. Yeah, Maxine, you got lots of welcomes. Yep. The waters around Taiwan are rich in oil. China does not want Taiwan. They want the oil. Yep. The major issued that proclamation in Kansas City. Now the puzzle pieces come together. Ugh. Yep. I need bailing out. Yeah, right. Well, what I found was interesting is so COVID created 14 new pharmaceutical billionaires, and 2/3, 66% of Congress received some type of funding by Pfizer and Moderna.
66% of
them? Yeah, 2/3 that received some kind of funding by either Pfizer or Moderna. And Moderna made $1,000 every second making the vaccine. And Pfizer reported $100 million in profit from the vaccines. Don't you love all my little interesting facts?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. I find it interesting that Ukraine has now taken back over 1,000 square kilometers of land that Russia had taken.
Yeah.
I can't figure out, does Russia just not want to fight anymore? Or are they really losing? Are they really getting their butts kicked by Ukraine? That didn't make any sense, right? Anyway, I found that super fascinating. Biden said that, can you say bought out? Yeah, right. Yeah, we are getting propaganda. Yeah, right. Angering. And now the rate of strokes has skyrocketed. Imagine that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Did you?
Yep. So Biden says that the U.S. needs to rethink its relationship with Saudi Arabia. Okay, so I want you guys to think about that statement. The U.S. needs to rethink its relationship with Saudi Arabia. What do you bet gas prices go up? What do you think? What's your bet?
Go up again?
Yeah, go up from here. No comment?
I just paid $3.30 a gallon.
Well, and with inflation and all of the things going on, I also find it interesting that the United States just retrofitted a whole bunch of B-2 bombers, spent $45 billion to deal with a laser attack.
Laser attack.
What do you think about that?
How do you stop a laser attack?
Look, I don't even, Rain Country, I don't even know how to say that.
Biden said. No, seriously.
Yeah, Cul-de-sac says they already announced gas is going up this summer. Starlet says, tag, who is your source about the Ukraine? Because Elizabeth, my friend here from Ukraine, says that Ukraine is losing terribly. Yeah, you know, and I found some articles that said they were losing too, but the vast majority of the alternative news sources that I found said that they've claimed, and there were some of them said 6,000, 600, some of them said 800, some of them said 1,000. 8,000 square kilometers. So I've heard it all kinds of ways, but the media wants you to think that they're winning. But I would love to hear from somebody on the ground. Yeah, fuel prices are already increasing again, says Mr. Rain. Ukraine war is played like a board game. Yep. And if you don't have any debt, you have no credit. That's true. Mr. Rain, no, really, what Mrs. Rain said. He said, yeah, right. I don't even know how to say that. No, Biden said, yeah, right. Right. I saw a post that said that the CDC is not going to allow COVID vaccines. Anyone hear about this? No. Jules says Ukraine is being decimated. Yeah, that's not what I'm reading. And in fact, I think the things that I'm seeing says they're going to go on another big offensive here pretty quick. Now, they've been decimated. No argument. But sounds to me like they're making some ground. Now we are in COVID buffering. Yeah, I particularly like the COVID statistics. I don't believe new agencies. Elizabeth is from, I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, and I think that's fair. Richard Hakes, I've said we need all to get more involved for sure, but eventually they want a one world government, one world currency, and one world religion. Yes, they do. Yeah, let me see here. What else? I'll skip some of these because it's getting late, but oh, the largest barrage. So since 1953, the largest barrage of missiles and artillery exchanged in open water between North and South Korea this week. Since 1953. So basically, they're firing them out into the water. So they weren't firing them necessarily at the land at each other, but kind of as a show of force. So it seems like tensions are raising there a little bit too. So I think that's interesting.
That's not good.
Yeah. Zaporizhia is where she is from. The parents say that Ukraine is losing ground. Interesting. Joel says, not what I've been hearing, Tag. Ukraine isn't making any progress. I'll send you some of the sources I watch. Yeah, guys, there's stuff out there, and any of my sources could be wrong, right? It's so hard to really understand what's true and false anymore. But some of these headlines I just think are interesting, so which is why I write them down. Russia released a video of the beheading of a Ukrainian soldier.
Oh, man.
So I wonder if that's propaganda. What do you think?
That's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that anyway.
Yeah, because you're not going to get anybody on your side that way, right?
Right.
Richard says, I have no credit because I pay cash for everything. I'm very happy with that arrangement. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was CODB. What did I miss? Sorry, Miley, I don't know what that relates to. I'm looking back up to see if I can find you up here somewhere. But I don't know.
What's COD?
Cash on delivery is what I know COD to be, but what do you think it is? Eagle Lover says deception, confusion, and propaganda. Yeah, there's a ton of that, huh? Yeah, a ton. Yeah, I skipped some other stuff. Like there was reports of F-16s landing in the Ukraine, and they're there now, and Leopard tanks and some of those things. But I think that's all just the same kind of stuff. Redacted on YouTube tells some interesting things. Yeah, I watch them sometimes. Raven Nest Homestead. I like Redacted from time to time if I, whenever it is I have time. Right. So let's talk about the Homestead. Right. I'll get rid of this stuff because I'm just making everybody depressed.
The Homestead? Nah, no kidding. It's not. It's like a lot of just bam, 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 bam. Like not good, not good, not good, not good, not good. It's like those are like headlines.
Yes. From just around the countries that I picked up on.
Okay. As you were listening to things throughout the
week. I'm listening as I'm working.
Ukraine. What happened?
I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Write it down. Figured I'd share it with my peeps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what have you been working on?
We got company coming for the Midwest Preparedness Festival.
Who's coming?
You have told me, and you didn't tell me what day they're coming. So that's a nice surprise. We have. Oh my gosh.
It's 2021.
Yeah. So Callie Blackthorn, right? Blackwell. Is coming. You have met her once, twice, once.
Yep.
In Georgia, right? You met her in Georgia.
I met her in Georgia.
Okay. And
who is she?
She is an author of The Boy in
7 billion.
I thought it was 8 billion.
7
billion. And she wrote it in 2001. No. Well, her child is an adult now, right? So she wrote a book about her fight with her child medically. He is an adult now. He wasn't then. So how long ago was this?
So let me just tell it.
Yeah, instead of me just butchering it.
Yeah. So Callie Blackwell is a lady who took on the British government. Her son got 2 rare forms of cancer, which makes him a 1 in 7 billion chance. Anyway, so she, I met her in Georgia where I spoke. She's going to do some speaking at the Midwest Preparedness Festival. She's going to come stay with us a couple days ahead of time. And I'm actually going to get her to do a live with me probably while she's here.
Oh.
And which would be cool, right? And we'll sit just like this and talk about, the weirdness of, what kind of courage it takes to take on a whole medical system.
No kidding.
Right. But anyway, so she'll be here, which I'm pretty excited about.
Are you going to do a live? Because if you do a live, then you have to post it. You have to know what day. You have to schedule it. You have to. Because we said that we were not going to do a live.
I'm talking about our normal Friday live, and we're going to try to do it. I just don't know if I'm going to have enough signal out there at the campground to do a live.
Do it here.
When they get here on Monday or whatever it is, I will schedule a live. I will put a notice out.
Did you just say she's coming on Monday?
Or on Tuesday, whatever it is. Whatever the day is.
Can you narrow that down for me?
Someday. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna do a live with her. I'll get you guys notification out. She is fascinating. And how I met her was super interesting. I just went to dinner and I was sitting, she was sitting across the table from me. And she said, "Hey, I really enjoyed your speech," and blah, 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 blah. And then the lady next to me goes, "Yeah, that girl accidentally saved her kid's life." I said, "Really? Tell me about it."
Oh, you did not. She did not. You didn't hear her talk?
At dinner that night is when I heard her talk.
Did she talk when you were there? She didn't talk at all when you were there.
And so we just start talking, and I'm like, pretty quick, I'm not eating anymore. And I'm like, holy shit. Like you're a badass.
So she was not there to present. She was there as a consumer.
Yep. And so anyway, I'll get her on live. I don't want to ruin the story because the way she tells it, like she had me where I was eating to where I put my fork down. Like, Wow. And I love those freedom warriors, right? So anyway, I'll get her on sometime early Monday or Tuesday, whatever it is, and we'll do a beautiful live show and have a big conversation about it. And I'll let her tell you guys her whole story because I think that'll be pretty neat.
Yeah, I can't wait.
No. So tell me about what else you're doing on the homestead.
On the homestead here?
Because I'm hoping you've been busy because I haven't seen you in days.
I haven't seen you in days.
Well, that's because I've been working doing this shit.
I've got ducks every 2 hours. I have to finish, dry out their brooder and fix their water. I got to find a better way for that. So, no, I've just been
trail mix. She said check mix.
Getting stuff in the greenhouse and harvesting that. Mm-hmm. Moving stuff around, unpacking, trying to find out whatever's all in those boxes. Do we need to keep them?
Okay, so apparently not much.
No, that's a lot. I've been busy.
Lots happened since 2001.
Yeah.
So for me, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm working on all at one time that needs epoxy. And
epoxy.
So because I'm going to break the epoxy out anyway, I'm going to get a whole bunch of stuff ready to do it all at one time. So there's a big opening between my kitchen and my living room that I put a live edge piece of cedar in, but I never epoxied it. That we've been waiting on forever. So I went ahead and pulled it out. Mm-hmm. There's a rail that goes upstairs that's cedar that I want to epoxy. So I pulled it out, and I got to make for our spare bedroom. There's a bunch of like the main shelf for the main entertainment center and all that. I'm making all that out of locust, but that'll need epoxy. So I got it made. And then since I've got all of that stuff out anyway, I figured I'd go ahead and build the new kitchen table with it. So I've got all of those projects in my shop, all kind of all on a table all by themselves. I'm gonna get them all ready.
Oh my God.
I've got a 5-gallon bucket of type part A and a 5-gallon bucket of part B of epoxy out in my shop, brand new, unopened. And I'm gonna go and just epoxy them all.
So you're going to make 10 gallons of epoxy and just start dumping it on stuff.
What year is it? Okay, gotta listen closely. Okay. I have 5 gallons.
Of one kind.
Of one. And 5 gallons of the other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make 2 gallons, 1 gallon, however much it takes. I doubt it'll take 10 gallons. That's a lot of epoxy.
Yeah, but I don't know about epoxy. Can you open it and save the rest for later? Or
Mhm.
once it's open, you
No.
gotta blow through that.
No, once you open it, it's fine. It's once you mix it, you can't go back.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's another one. Big Kid says like epoxy your pole in the bedroom.
You gotta lay it down to epoxy it though. You can't epoxy.
Yeah, you can roll it on.
You'll see all the drips like on the.
It'd be no different than using polyurethane.
I don't know.
You want to know what you got growing?
Growing in the greenhouse, I have several different microgreens.
Faith says Tag is moving the house underground instead.
Yes. He's burying it. Yep.
What are you growing?
Got microgreens. I tried some sunflower microgreens. For some reason, like mice come into the greenhouse and eat that. And they're starting to come up and then the tops are gone. And that's the only thing that I can see that they're bothering is the sunflower starts so far. So I got several different microgreens started or growing that we've been consuming. Lettuces, turnips.
Miley says she's on the connection. I'm eating trail mix.
Yeah.
What else you got growing? You got?
I got like in the greenhouse, that's about it.
No.
Oh, I've got tobacco.
Tobacco?
I've got like 116 tobacco
turnips.
plants. Yeah, turnips, ground cherries. What is it? Starts with a B. It's a herb. I have not heard it. Boneset, something like that. That's started. That's about it. Comfrey's still in there. Blueberries are in there. That's it.
Gooseberries?
No, gooseberries are all in the yard.
Did you plant them already?
Yeah, because I was waiting for the blueberry row to be built. And
I built it.
Yes. And then we got rain. And then you're like, hey, move this stuff. I need you to move this stuff.
So Faith says, I had to go get some Fruit Loops. Did you know that there was an official to the federal government who made the argument that Fruit Loops were, can we stop eating?
Fruit Loops were what?
Were better for you than eggs. Remember I showed you that?
No kidding. Yeah, that's.
Because they're saying that we're so used to processed foods that the glyphosate in it kills bacteria in your stomach. And then it's kind of becoming an important food group now. And that Fruit Loops with the glyphosate is better for you than eggs.
Yeah, because eggs are high in cholesterol. And if you fry them with butter, then they're high in fat too. Yeah. Boneset. Yeah, that's it. Boneset. I started.
What else?
That's a bit.
Okay, so I got all the epoxy stuff going on.
Yep.
I'm doing some trimming around some windows that I'm working on, right? And pod 3. The bedroom in pod 3, I'm working on the windows around that. Right? And we've got I got the footing poured for the retaining wall. So as soon as I can get the rest of the concrete poured, we'll get that built.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a long time though, right? That's like
tomorrow, a bunch of us are going to cut firewood.
Yes. Cut trees down.
I'm going to cut trees down tomorrow. Right, get them laying down.
And put some, you're going to just knock them down and let them lay where they're at. Okay.
Well, we'll probably do, if I have time, I want to knock them down.
Drag them home.
Cut the branches off of them, get the brush in a pile, and then I'll pick them up and bring them back and just put them in a big pile of logs. And then they can sit all winter.
What are you going to do with the brush? Here we go with fire again. What you have
Well,
to burn brush, right? Are you
Yep.
going to bring all the brush home and pile it and fire
Okay, so
fire
you get
it?
two choices. I can bring it home here, where you can start the fire and control it, or I can leave it with the neighbor and he can start the fire and control it. Which do you prefer? This is the neighbor.
Which pasture?
This is the neighbor who just started our place on fire.
Yeah, which pasture are you putting it in? Yeah. It'll be exciting to see what kind of logs come out of there. I mean, I know they're all hardwood, but to see how many logs come out of there and what we can use them for, fencing or whatnot.
Yep, Faith, there's nothing wrong with the craving. So no cholesterol, nothing to feed the brain. We all get more dumb. They're getting us ready for Brondo. It's what the body craves. It's got electrolytes. So which way is the wind blowing today? Are eggs good or bad for you? Yeah, right. My grandparents lived into their 90s and ate real butter and all the stuff they say not to, but they stayed busy. I think that's the key. I would agree. Which is why they want us afraid of cholesterol, because it feeds the brain. Eggs are bad. GMO bugs are good for you. Eggs are good for you. I agree. We eat them. Eggs are actually something we eat a lot of. Maybe it's just we get so many of them, right?
Yeah.
I eat 6 eggs at one time. I don't play.
Oh, that's a lot of meal. I can't even eat 6 eggs at one time.
Yeah, Raven, so we've already gathered 3 to 4 ricks of wood gathered now. We start immediately after the last fire built that need time to dry out. Well, I've got enough down Raven's nest for this year, this coming winter. I have enough down right now. But what we're doing is I'm going to start. So my neighbor, if you guys remember the video, we had a fire because the neighbor started the fire. So he owns 120 acres around me, and he offered me to go cut all the hedge and all the locust down because he didn't want any of the thorny trees. And I could have them all. He didn't care what I did with them. So I'm going to knock them all down. I'm going to bring them back in big logs. Some will be fence posts. Some will be I'll mill into lumber, and some will be firewood. And I want to get it down so not this year, not this winter, but then the next winter I have another source because I have enough for this coming winter, but I don't have enough beyond that. Make sense?
You think we have enough for next winter?
Yeah, probably. There's quite a bit over there still.
I don't know.
And there's like 5 piles of logs that aren't even cut.
I know.
I'm talking about logs that are 12 feet long.
I know, but we had like -4. Like it seems like the colds are, I don't know. The wind is higher. The cold is colder. I don't know.
Cul-de-sac, does anyone see the screen flashing like someone is taking pictures, or is it just me?
Eek.
I have not seen that, but it has been acting weird, just like how Patrick and I got booted off and it took a bit to get back in. Yeah, they just don't like what you talk about, Rain Country. Statins will kill your legs, just saying, allegedly. I'm way back in the stream. They just edited something Tag was saying about freedom.
They edited it?
Oh, yeah. It's funny how YouTube works. I just try
So as you're talking, does it just take your words out or just...
I don't know, but I've had that comment before.
Or just be...
Or they're like, you skipped. How do you skip in a live? I don't know. I don't know how it works. No idea. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be up to. After that, I think that's about it. Guys, I might be a little light on videos this next week. I got the Preparedness Festival coming up. I got a lot going on, but I'll try to shoot a bunch from the Midwest Preparedness Festival. We're going to try to do a live out there. We'll get Callie on from the Boyne 7 Billion, and you guys will love her. She's a firecracker. I learned so much from her. So
we got a lot of people coming in too. We got a lot of visitors.
Yep. Heidi said she found it interesting that they got booted right after they made the Biden comment.
Oh.
Yep. Maxine says here in the UK, there's an emergency alert happening through mobile phones Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. With the way the world is now, a few 3 to 5 years worth on hand may not be a bad idea. Just think if there was a reason you want to stay inside as much as possible. Yeah, I've got maybe one season put up right now, and then hopefully we're going to but anyway, I got 120 acres I get to go cut it from, which there's thousands of trees. So we're going to build up a bunch of that. Grumpy Acres is going to go with us. Hacks for the Homestead is going to go with us. And then my neighbor Hitch is going to go with us. Yeah. Faith says y'all have a fun night headed out too. Yeah, we're going to call it 2 here pretty quick if I get my statements here. AI makes those decisions, says Raven Nest. Yeah. Rick says that he saw the flash. Yeah, they don't like the topic, but that's okay. Tag appropriately sized branches from locust or even right sized saplings make dandy tool handles. Yes. Dress them down. Some of your bar arms right there. Yeah, I'm gonna try to dress all the trees down, put the brush where it goes, get everything in the right size, and then just stack piles until I can can deal with it. Because even though I don't have them cutting the firewood, if I've got the logs laying there in 2 years, they'll be fine. I'll be able to deal with them, I think, at that. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna go work our tails off. What do you got? Any parting words? What do you?
I was gonna say stay busy, because that's how you get it done. Is just stay busy.
I think that's good advice. I want to kind of end on the topic we were talking about earlier, that don't buy into the propaganda. We are not as divided as they tell you we are. And whether that's Democrat or Republican, no matter what it is, right? Whether it's black or white, whether it's gay or straight, whether it's Christian or atheist, it doesn't make any difference. We are not as divided as they say we are. Don't listen to the BS, And, I think from there, we'll just go on and try to have a good night, right?
Yep.
All right. So I guess till we do it again, right? We're out of here. We'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.
Be out.